fans, and we are back at it with another edition here at Round 1 Sports TV. I'm always your host, Edwin, and where the wall fights start, Round 1. So, what's up, guys? Back at it here, in the lab, spending time with the family. Earlier, I went live, and I had to cut it short. I'll explain why when a couple of y'all get in here. We got a lot to talk about, man. And there's a lot being said right now with this fight with Subriel Matias and Alberto Puellos. There's a lot of back and forth with this fight on who's gonna win this fight. And as you guys tune in and everything, let me know where you guys are tuning in from and what fighters you guys want to talk about. I've gotten a lot of emails, and I've talked to a lot of people that are going back and forth on this Subriel Matias fight. They're actually thinking that it's going to be one of the strongest fights on this card, the Edgar Berlanga versus Shari's card, and Shakur Stevenson versus William Cepeda. And David Morrell is also on that card as well, and there's a lot of tough fights, but the one in particular is Subriel Matias versus Alberto Puello. And because of the fact that he lost to Liam Paro, Subriel Matias, they're saying that Alberto Puello is going to be able to beat Subriel Matias, okay? And in that theory right there alone, right, sometimes I argue that very theory because the things that Liam Paro understood what to do, perhaps Alberto Puello doesn't understand it. There's a difference between developing a game plan to beat Subriel Matias and actually going out there and pulling it off. Subriel Matias is a durable, tough opponent, right? And the man is like a Terminator when he's like a heat-seeking missile. He's straightforward. Now, to develop a game plan to beat such a fighter like Subriel Matias, you would have to be able to spin the fighter. You got to spin him. You can't stay on the inside. You're going to have to use your footwork. But most importantly, you're going to have to box. You're going to have to change up your cadence in your selection of punches. And you're going to have to go upstairs, downstairs with Subriel. You're going to have to frame off and push him off you. As we all know, in a lot of Subriel Matias' fight, at a certain point in the fight, his jab is non-existent. So with a good jab, good fundamental footwork, you don't have to run. You don't have to evade all night. You got to recenter, get to the middle of the ring, and tag. But you're going to have to give Subriel something to give him concern from coming in. If he feels like what you have to offer, he's going to go straight through. But if you can stop him right at the front door and meet him there, then you have a better chance with a fighter such as Subriel. And that's the question. That's the question that we're going to ask. Let me go up. What's up, Frontline? How you doing, baby? Salute. Puello's going to break the what? The hearts of Matias fans. That's more than possible, brother. More than possible. Low Nose Boxing says Matias ducking Teo last year. No, he wasn't. It's the other way around. All right. Teofimo Lopez was ducking Subriel Matias because Subriel Matias didn't have the belt. Teo has the belt. Subriel Matias is not ranked in Teo's ranking. In order for Teo to even be rumored to negotiate a fight with Subriel Matias, he would have had to initiate it. And when they were in negotiations in October, Teofimo Lopez's team and Subriel Matias, Teofimo Lopez is the one that pulled out. He opted out for unification against Arnold Barboza to extend his top-ranked contract for another 5 years. So he chose to go with top rank. He could have fought Subriel Matias for his biggest payday with $4 million, but he would have to put the belt on the line. Teo, unfortunately, ducked Subriel Matias. He was offered his biggest payday 3 times. And then the Saudi prince saved him by paying him that much money to fight Arnold Barboza. So, and then he went that way. The way you want the way you went in on Floyd Schofield Sr. was diabolical. Yo, he tried to talk fast in the interview. You saw he was like, why would we go backwards and fight somebody on the WBC ranking, right, when we're going forward in the WBA? And I was like, going backwards? How are you going backwards when I suggested a near future fight with Andy Cruz? Because Andy Cruz obviously has a fight now scheduled, so he's busy. But maybe after this Tevin Farmer fight, one day you guys can meet. And I merely asked him, you know, what about a potential fight maybe one day with Andy Cruz? And he said, no, we won't fight Andy Cruz because that'd be going backwards. I said, but Andy Cruz is ranked ahead of you in his respectable organization. So he says, no, we're only concentrating on fighting fighters in the WBA ranking. I said, okay, I would respect that. But Tevin Farmer is not ranked in the WBA. He's ranked in the WBC. And he's ranked like number fucking 11 or some shit. And then like Schofield was like all messed up about it. Look, bro, I'm just going by what you're saying. And I don't want Mr. Schofield to sound stupid, right? So I'm kind of like informing him of what he's saying. You know what I mean? Like, brother, somebody else is going to catch this. I caught it in the second, but somebody else will catch it. So don't come up here lying, trying to make excuses. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. Moses, come on, man. Low nose boxing. Bro, okay. I don't think he'll do him like that, bro. Come on, my man knocked that dude clean out. Like, he got up, he said, Moses did him dirty, bro. Come on, he ain't doing Subriel like that. Stop it. Teo don't got that kind of knockout power at this weight division. Low nose boxing, come on, my man. When's the last time Teofimo Lopez knocked anybody out? How could you even suggest that he's gonna be that brutal? He hasn't been that brutal since 130 Teo. Fuck out of here, man. 135 Teo beat Loma. Who did he knock out at 135? Teo. When's his last knockout? I forgot what was his last knockout. I gotta look that shit up. I want to look that shit up right now. Now, matter of fact, we looking that shit up, bro. We ain't going another step forward. Nah, we don't do that. Since you asking the question, he gonna do him dirty like that, then we might as well look up Teo. Let's see. Here we go. Teofimo Lopez. Let's check him out real quick right here. Right quick. And Teo's last knockout was Campo. He knocked out Campo. That was his last knockout. What's up, Victor? How you doing? Salute. Tuner, what's up? Double tap the screen. Double tap the screen, y'all. Smash that, yeah. Let me get them loves in the building. What's up, Carlos? How you doing? They know do the Olympics. What? Gold medal? What? Maybe, wait, whoa. You guys were talking about something or something here? They're denying, what? Deciding from that whole Andy Cruz substance. Yeah. Teal lost power at 140. Front line, yup. Guys run from Teal. That's why he hasn't had stopping. Well, you know what? There's 2 men in the ring. There's 2 men in the ring. Am I right? If Teal couldn't catch up to Jermaine Ortiz, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? And how about the matchmakers for Teal's team at the time? Top Rank. That was the main event. Teal had the right to order the size of the ring. What? Who wasn't doing their homework? Why didn't they order a smaller ring to stop Jermaine Ortiz if Teal couldn't catch up to him? You see? You can't put all the blame on the other guy as well. Sometimes Teal has to get out there and get these knockouts. You understand? And in Teal's performance against Klajic, it showed. My man was countering off of Teal. Teal's only best when he's fighting off the back foot. Teal can't fight going forward. He never could. But he's real good sitting back and countering. That's where Teofimo Lopez made the legend of Teofimo Lopez, fighting like that. He has an awkward first step, but he'll throw the 1-2 with conviction coming forward. He backed up Loma for a long time with that 1-2, and Loma kept trying to reset, but in an odd manner. Loma gave away the first 6 rounds before he even started fighting. Then when you saw Loma going forward and Teal going backwards, the problem was Loma gave away too many rounds, I felt, and Teal does fight better off the back foot. So when Loma was pressuring, Teal was getting sneaky good shots on the inside because that's where he's best. And Loma should have took the opportunity to try to fight Teal coming forward. If he was fighting Teal coming forward, he would have, I think he would have won and stole a couple of those rounds. But what really won that fight between Teal and Loma was Teal biting down on the gum shield in the championship rounds. What did I think of Angelo Leo versus Kamita out fight? There was a lot of headbutting going on in that fight. I felt that both men were leading with their heads because they wanted to be the aggressor, to really get like that lean and torque on your shot like that. Both men were coming forward. Neither of them wanted to take a step back. I felt like Angelo Leo was doing good work in the first half or so of the fight. Then it kind of fluctuated, right? And then I thought the Japanese fighter was doing really well. Now, mind you guys, when I watch these fights, you guys all know me, I don't watch it with any volume. When I watch the fights or I rewatch the fight, I watch it silent because I want to narrate my fight and what I see. And I don't need them influencing what I'm seeing or my judgment by them talking. So when I'm speaking to you from what I saw in that fight. I think that Leo, right, for me, the reason why Angelo Leo won that fight, he won the 11th and 12th round in my eyes. Hands down. He won the championship rounds. I think that the fight could have been tied going into the 11th round, or it might have been one up from the other. I'm not sure what the official scorecards, and I didn't even hear what the scorecards. So if you have them, you could please put them down because I never even got to hear the scorecards. So, but from my observation and from what I saw, Leo clearly won those last 2 rounds. My man was a little, fatigued, but he had a great poker face. The Japanese dude, he wasn't letting you see that he was tired. You could see that his output of punches had slowed down, and Leo was the busier out of the two. So I think that's what won Leo the fight out there in Japan, if you ask me. There was another fight in Josh Taylor. I don't know where Josh Taylor goes from here, man. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. The first 2-3 rounds, he was looking like Josh Taylor of the old. He had his jab was coming out, pop, 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 right? Homeboy was tough, man. He was tough. He took it to Josh Taylor, and what can I say, man? He squeaked out a narrow decision there on Josh Taylor and walked away with that WBO Global belt, right? WBO, right? It was the WBO. It's this one. It's that one. But his was a global. Yeah, right? So, yeah. Let me catch up to you guys' comments. What's up? Carlito, what up? Thompson. Wait, I want to see Lomachenko against. Yeah. What's up? Marv. Castro. Where did you get the fan? This? Can you guys hear that mad loud, or is it my suppressing audio? Is it on? Is that fan bothering you guys or not? I was going to say, let's mess around with the fan. I'll put some other stuff on, but the phone I'm actually on controls that fan too as well. I'm going to leave that on. The boxing beef is cool. That's when I got boxing beef. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if it'll cut out if I move the screen. Like if I go into my setting. I'm not sure. Anyway, I got that on, I believe, I ordered it in Japan on Amazon. It's a projector, 3D projector and shit. It came with some cool 3D designs, way better than these. It looked like they was jumping out. And when I turned it on, I was like, what the fuck does format mean? Boop, format erased everything. So I called the place and I was like, yo, they sent me an email with like 32 holograms for this. Because I told them on accident, I pressed it, and could they send me, because I had a USB card, one of them, to put in the fan. So it came on the chip. So they downloaded and sent me the link to they gave me 36 more designs. I was like, word, on the laptop. I was like, so now I just got to transfer it over from the laptop to the card and put it in there. Simple, right? What's this button? Poof, I deleted everything again. The second time. So I made my own. And I looked that up right there and I got that myself. But the fan itself, yo, the designs is way better, bro. I just don't know how to make those 3D ones and shit. You gotta design that shit yourself or buy them from somewhere, some shit. But I've been meaning to get better ones for this. But I was like, just relax, because I'll probably delete that shit too. What the hell, man? I couldn't believe I did that. Not once, but twice. What was I gonna write them and say the next time? Well, what had happened was, my cat walked across the keyboard. Delete. Yo, they gonna charge me or something, right? And they're like, this guy again. That's life sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Shit happens, man, but you gotta laugh, right? So, What else you guys want to talk about? What's up, man? Claymore Rain in the building. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hard work is paying off, man. I just came down from Philadelphia at my family gym, my sister's gym. We had amateur boxing, man. We had a great night. We had a great night on views. The young men and women were coming out, showing that this might be what they want to become. Because at this point in amateurs' career, not all of them will make it pro. Not all of them will stay the course. You know, sometimes a lot of outside distractions, as we all know, when we're young, we think we know it all. If I can have a time machine and go back to talk to young Edwin, you know, there's a possibility I could have had a real future in boxing. World champion, I would love to convince you that I would have been one. But if I had the right people in my corner, I think that, and the right people paying attention, more attention to me, I think I could have made a good run for it. Who knows? Who knows? You know, my brother's roommate, Jose Rivera, shouts out to Jose Rivera, Worcester's great champion, Camachitos, Shows in One Productions, brother. They both have a promotional company and they're still involved deeply into the sport of boxing. Both brothers are doing an amazing job. If you have the chance, Shows in One Production. Jose Rivera was my brother's roommate. He became a world champion. He has 3 belts. He has 1 major belt and 2 minor belts. In my eyes, those are the best belts in the world. You know, I grew up around him. I was fortunate enough to even train with Jose Rivera at times in the gym. I was young. He was a little bit ahead of me by 2 years, I think it was. That's all. But we jump rope side by side. You know, he hit the bag. I hit the bag on the other side like that type stuff. I don't remember ever sparring with Jose. Maybe once or twice when Carlos was running like 3-man drills like that, maybe. Like it'll be Jose in the ring and it'll be a fighter. Carlos would train us like this. He would be in one corner, he would be in one corner, he would be in one corner. This guy would attack you for a minute, I'll attack you for a minute, he'll attack you for a minute. And the guy in the middle stays in the middle. Then the guy in the middle will go to this side, this guy will go in the middle, we all attack him. Like that. And if it's training for a guy that's going up for a match, he gets all the attention. None of us go in the middle, he keeps getting the drill. That's it. That's how our coach, some of the methods he used to use in our gym. Like that. And perhaps, maybe I participated because if anybody was in the gym and Carlos had a guy that he was concentrating on that was coming up, it was basically all hands on deck type shit. If he needed you, you gotta suit up. Suit up, get in the ring. And sometimes I was little, bro. I was like skinny and shit. These dudes is, you know, but the objective was they allowed me to hit him. He had to only block my shots. He couldn't punch me back like that. They wanted to use my speed against the bigger guys so that he could see fast punches. So I was free to throw punches, things like that, you know? So, yeah. The ultimate sacrifice, Claymore. Absolutely. The kids are running wild around this town, brother. Yes, yes, absolutely. I remember while I was growing up, the boys club got the funding pulled from it. And Ionic was no longer there for a period in time. And there was a point in time where the boys club was finding a new location and they were going to build a new boys club from the ground up. And that took years to do. In between that time, the boys club that had the great boxing team, our team, it vanished. That's when the streets took me. I had nowhere to go. There was only drug dealers, gang members, pimps, hookers, con artists outside of my door. There was no escape. All this, when people say, you know, you're not a victim of your circumstance. I get it. I get it. But none of us were born with manuals. We didn't know the real significance of all these horrors. That dude had gold chains and women around him with 20-inch rims. Whatever, however he got that, I wanted that too. When I had role models in my life back then, I probably had not, I wouldn't say role models. I had people to talk to me, trying to be my role model, right? The problem is they didn't come from where I came from. They didn't speak the language I spoke. They spoke of all this like, you can push forward, think pride, all this, man. And I was like, that shit don't work where I'm from, And I always felt like the girls had it a little bit easier. And boy, was I wrong, right? But because my sister would walk out the house and I would think that all she had to worry about is just dudes hitting on her. Nah, man. Being a girl back then must have been triply hard than a boy. But being a boy I couldn't get 5 blocks down the street without running into a group of guys. I had to go back down to my block, get a group of my guys to walk past these guys. So, and then the guys that hung around with me eventually got together. Then we got together with the kid across the street, the kid down the street, the kid upstairs. Then all of a sudden we had a gang name. There we were. And the boys club was gone. It was gone. We had nowhere to go. Streets took a lot of us. Video games and all these shits really like dulled down our kids, huh? They like, oh, I got a boo-boo. Oh, my God. Like, yo, it's crazy. And, like, we were still outside at my age. We were still blowing shit up. Oh, yeah. We had, we didn't have fireworks. We were too poor, right? So what you go do is you go get a bunch of Goya cans. And you cut out the back holes of the Goya can. The last can, you put a lot of holes in it. Then you turn around, you put one. You put a lot of duct tape and you connect the cans together. It looks like a bazooka. And you gotta be serious on your tape game. Don't steal the cheap tape. If you're gonna steal the good tape, steal the good hardware tape. Because we had to go steal it, right? So, and you wrap that motherfucker up. And you got like 7, 8 cans. And use the Goya cans. The reason why you use Goya cans, because ain't no can stronger. The Coca-Cola can go ahead and do that. You're going to blow your face up. That whole shit is going to blow up. Right? There's no cans that are stronger than the Goya cans. So you put them bitches, and we were using the Goya, the drinks. Not the bean cans. I suppose you could do it with the bean cans, but we were using the drinking ones. Them, the one that you take the little plastic off, them right there, like that. It's like a little zoop. It don't go. Now it does, but back in the day, it used to be like this silver tab. We peel it off, and then you take a can opener and you open them all through like that, so you could see through it. You take the lighter fluid, you put it in that, and you hold it like that, and somebody lights it. Boom! That shit kicks off. Dudes was wanting to put tennis balls inside of it, lighting the lighter fluid on the tennis ball, throw it in, right? And, yeah, those are cheap fireworks. Cheap fireworks. Another way I used to make my sister like laugh, we didn't have no fireworks, was the lighters. The lighter. If you take this off the lighter, the spring's gonna pop out, but you gotta stop it because you need the flint. You need the flint to come out. So you take the flint out, it's like that big. The spring that comes out, you use that. Take the flint, put it in the spring, and wrap it around it, like twice. Then stretch out the spring like that. It's gonna go like that, it's just gonna hang like that. Get another lighter and light the flint like that. The flint is gonna turn bright red, bright ass red. Go in the hallway. I would advise you to do it in a hallway, not in your house with all your furniture and all your clothes or whatever around you. And in the project's hallway, we would light it like that, and you throw it against the wall in the corner. That whole shit's gonna spark. It's gonna shoot across the hallway. My sister would stay there like this. Ah. And I done stole a box of 50 lighters. They were like that. I was like 13 or something. I'm over here busting lighters. Or we find them in the neighborhood on the floor, the empty ones. And we would sit there and bust them for her to have fireworks. Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Why the fuck I started thinking about that, I don't know. Oh, the kids. We was talking about the kids and how the gyms are a good outside source for some of these kids. You know, in Philly, I don't know what they got in the water in Philadelphia. I swear to God. I swear to God, bro. You could step outside of Philadelphia anywhere. Go down any fucking street you want. See any little kid walking down the street, hop out, tell the kid, I'll give you $1. Snap a jab right there. That kid's gonna jump back and go like that, bro. Get in your car and go back where you're from. And get out the car and do that to a kid out there. He'll be like, eh. They different, man. I'm trying to tell you. Bro, I don't know how many times I hopped out of the car, right? Just in a park in Boston. Hey, throw it like that. Like, man, listen. Yo, these kids in Philly, man, they come out like already. The mean streets in Philly are relentless, bro. But, you know, I was down there, and as I was at the gym and shit, you know, it was apparently noticeable, like the street, the city couldn't hide it, right? But what was really cool is, like, a lot of people out there respect my sister and them. And basically, you know, the drug dealers and gangbangers and all said that if there's a kid walking by with a book bag, a boxing book bag, and he's on his way to the gym, we'll leave him alone. But if he puts that book bag down and he crosses the street, we make no promises. She had to take that deal, right? There's just, at the end of the day, the child, you could talk to a child all you want. You know, and that's what I was talking about. Those people that talked to me back then, they didn't look like me. They didn't talk like me. They didn't know nothing about my situation. When I later grew up, my sister talked with me about that shit and was like, yo, you know, I went this way, you went that way. And I kind of viewed it like that, but so many distractions, you know. You don't know that when you're back then, you know, when you're a kid, so it is what it is. What's up, guys? How you doing, Georgie? Let me just scroll back up here to your head over. What's up? Well, the thing is, the front line is that Santo Domingo doesn't really have a dominant champion. And if Alberto Puello can beat Subriel Matias, that's definitely going to fucking make this rivalry against Santo Domingo and Puerto Rico a little bit more competitive. As we all know, some of the best rivalries in all of boxing is what, guys? What is one of the best rivalries in all of boxing? My opinion, Puerto Rico, Mexico, Mexico, US, US versus anyone, the Philippines versus Japan. That's a big rivalry. Um, Puerto Rico Mexico rivalry is rich. Now that's a good rivalry. Those are two Latin countries that are equally back and forth. When we're talking about Dominican Puerto Rican rivalry, it's basically non existent. It's a one sided event. All Puerto Rico. That's it. When it comes to world championships, we don't want to go there with Santo Domingo. I think they just started acquiring world titles recently. They've never had a unified world champion ever in the history of Santo Domingo boxing. So, but that might just change. Okay, people? That is going to change. My money is in Rohan Polanco. That my money's on him. That's where my money lays. I hope. Rohan Polanco, bro, this motherfucker, he lives in the gym right now. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. I think Rohan Polanco is a strong fighter. He's a smart fighter. He's learning with every fight. I think he's going to be the first Dominican unified world champion. I got my money on him. I got my money on him. I'm Puerto Rican, but I support all boxing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not biased. I don't care. I don't care. I don't see skin color. None of that shit. I only see fighters. That's it. That's all I see. If you a fighter, you're great. You a fighter, baby. That's it. And the Alberto Puello fight does have me nervous. I can't lie. I can't lie. There's going to be a lot of Puerto Rican fighters on that fight, including Shakur Stevenson, that has Puerto Rican roots through his father. So I acknowledge it, that although he might not speak our native tongue, he is one of us. So he is in one. He's on the card. So, and then there's Edgar Berlanga. Okay, Hamza. Listen, guys. This guy is moving up in weight. Let's not forget this. And do not be confused by a guy's size. You can look at Hamza and say, yeah, it's obvious he can put on the size. He will be fine. That's not so. Although he could put on that size and walk around or after the fight, it's not the same thing as fighting weight. It's still not the same thing. So when they're talking about, oh no, Hamza's this tall, he could put on the weight, he was struggling down there, it's best that he goes up. Edgar Berlanga's been fighting at this weight his entire career. Edgar Berlanga is a true 168-pounder. A middleweight. So, yeah, although Hamza got the height that I believe he can pack this weight on comfortably, but can he fight in it? Have you ever seen that? What proof do you got that he's going to transition well? What tells you that? His height? That automatically grants him to perform like he used to in the lower weight division. Well, he hasn't been punched by guys like this. Edgar Berlanga, one thing I can tell you, well, I don't have to tell you. His stats speak for itself. What does he have? 17 first round knockouts, 18, something like that. First round knockouts. So, where do you think he can't tap that jaw and Hamza's gonna go night night, sleep sleep? Oh, I think he going out. And I think that they're moving Hamza just a bit too fast. I can understand what the Saudi prince might think. Look, we got one. And to promote their fighters, like their Muslim fighters and everything, you could put them on a card, a big card, with our big stars. Then all of a sudden, you start seeing Hamza Shari here start dropping people, beating on some of these guys, and you start to believe he can compete with boxing's elite, best. So let's put him here. And as we all know, Edgar Berlanga should have never got that fight with Saul Canelo Alvarez. He had a big jump from the competition Edgar Berlanga was fighting just before Saul Canelo Alvarez to the time he entered the ring. He didn't have that much experience. For Edgar Berlanga to survive the legend that is Saul Canelo Alvarez and go 12 rounds with him, you did pretty good, kid. That kind of champion was supposed to knock you out with your kind of experience. There's no excuse. If we just didn't look at the fighters and I looked at Canelo Alvarez's resume and the men that he fought, and I looked at Edgar Berlanga's resume, the fact that Saul didn't knock him out, you did pretty good, Edgar. You're supposed to get destroyed. And I'm talking about rock on some type shit where I knock you down in the third, knock you down in the fifth, knock you twice in the eighth, and then they stopped it. It's on some shit like that. That was supposed to happen to Edgar. And it didn't. Means to tell you, Edgar took one of the solid shots out of Canelo Alvarez's past opponents. He hit Jaime Munguia solid, pretty good. But he hit Edgar Berlanga better. He set Edgar Berlanga up with that, and Edgar, he bit on the feint. Edgar reacted on the feint, and he went up. Saul changed it, the level, and boom! And he caught Edgar Berlanga, in my opinion, the strongest out of all the fighters he just recently fought. And likely so, I think he dropped every fighter he was coming to Saul. But Saul's a very technical, smart fighter. I didn't see that patience with Edgar Berlanga. What I saw was him being very aggressive with Edgar. And Saul was trying to knock him out. Not like he did Jaime Munguia. I felt like once he dropped Jaime Munguia, he put it in cruise control. And I think he did Jaime Munguia a favor because he was Mexican, to tell you the truth. I got no proof on that. Only what I'm watching. And I'm like, Edgar, bro, it looked like one time he was holding up Jaime Munguia. Am I wrong? On them ropes, he could have just flared off on Jaime and he would have finished him. He didn't show Edgar Berlanga that same kind of respect. He kept coming at Edgar. He kept trying to knock him out, man. Edgar kept fighting him off. It was a fight. Edgar might have not won many rounds in that fight, but he did very well. And I respect him for that. I think that Edgar showed that he has a chin. I think he's shown he's been up in there, not with some of the top guys, but with the top guy. I'm not going to say he's been in there with some of the top. No. He went toe-to-toe with the top guy, period. Didn't get knocked out. Ask yourself this one question. Same situation, same time. Put Hamza Shari in there with Saul. What happens? Let me know in the comments. I'll wait. Put Hamza Shari's in there with Saul Canelo Alvarez. When Edgar Berlanga fought him, what happens to Hamza? Tell me. What do you think happens to Hamza? Be honest. What's up, Jermaine? And Edgar's not a runner. No, he's not. Flores, he's not a runner. Mexico boxing #1. Yeah. Sugar, yeah, he's fighting. Hold on. Eduardo Nunez, he's fighting. His fight should be coming up. Let me type this in my computer in the back here. Yeah, that's right. Eduardo Nunez is fighting Rishiki. Rishiki there. Yeah. That's going to be advertised for the Zone. It's the IBF Junior Light Welterweight title of the world. That'll be on the line. Caleb Plant is also fighting against Jose Armando. Armando, you're fighting Caleb Plant? Oh my God! You went on Indeed, didn't you? And we're looking up boxing matches. Now they paired you up against Caleb Plant. Good luck, Armando. Yo, Brandon Moore, right here. Yeah, Keyshawn Davis with Edwin De Los Santos is gonna be a banger. That's gonna be a banger, and that's right there. That's gonna be Keyshawn Davis versus Edwin De Los Santos is going to be for Keyshawn's belt. So that's going to be his first title defense on this new title, the WBO title. He beat Dennis Berenchek for it. So that's going to be a banger because depending on how he beats him, because how he saw Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson fare, one of the most boring fights in boxing, but unfortunately not the most boring. No, there is other fighters like that Ringhamdale fight, where that, for instance, on copy box stats, punches thrown between Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson combined for 12 rounds were an astounding 126 punches thrown between the two of them. In the Ponce fight versus Subriel Matias, in the first round, Ponce by himself threw 98 punches. By himself. If you were to tally in Subriel's punches, they would dwarf the entire 12-round fight versus Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson. In one round. One fighter almost beat him by himself. The two of their punches combined. That means that Shakur Stevenson and Edwin De Los Santos, on average, was throwing anywhere between 5 and 6 punches a round. And sometimes less. Some of them were recorded throwing 3 and 4 punches a round. That was a bad night at the office. Really bad night. And that's where started most of this downward spiral of Shakur Stevenson in his performance. And as a boxer, the funny thing, Shakur Stevenson is actually boxing really well. You know, the concept, the art of boxing, to hit without being hit. You are here for me. You are here to assist me on whooping your ass. That's your mindset you should have as a fighter. The only reason why you're here is you're going to assist me on whooping your ass. I'm going to go throw this way. I want you to move this way. I'm going to hit you here. You're going to get frustrated, go into a big thing. You're going to throw a big punch. I'm going to dip, sidestep, body shot. I'm going to push you off. You're going to cringe. You're either going to lash out forward. I'm going to step backwards. Bah, check hook. It's a dance. Once you learn how not to panic in certain situations, things will slow down for you. I can't explain it. I've always just felt it. It just felt like things were going in slow motion. I could see his punch. I knew what he was going to do before it. Then I got into other fights where fighters were smart. And I quickly recognized the intelligence of the guy that was standing in front of me. I could no longer just feint like this and he was going to react. He went like that. I threw a punch. He stepped back. I went to move in, go downstairs. He faded out, came up, doubled the jab, brought it back to me. I was like, I know I had a fight on my hands. You understand? Now I had to create things. I had to create it. I had to be aggressive, throw upstairs to the top, make him cover up, come around the guard, go on the inside. Sometimes don't see the punch. Throw it. Sometimes fighters need to see where the punch is going. You're going to have to fight sometime off instinct. You're just going to have to know it's there. You got to be first. Boom. And my advice, if you're ever in a fight and you miss the first punch, let's say you throw the jab, you miss him. If you throw the right and you miss him, for the love of God, do not throw that third punch. Because if he knows what he's doing, that's the last thing you should see. If you miss me with 2 punches, right? Your momentum coming forward, that third punch you're throwing, it's like almost designed for your hook shot to land. I might have missed a few opportunities, not that I can remember, but that's bread and butter right there for me. That is bread and butter, baby. It's like slip. Oh, he's going for it. Boop! It's cortito, short, right there. And the inside, his body's already coming forward. He might be off balance, and he might know how to throw punches, but his confidence, he's probably the dude that been landing that 1-2 throughout high school or something, and you know what I'm saying, he's comfortable with it. But once you know you run into people that know how to fight, you better quickly recognize, wait a minute, because you can underestimate your opponent and get caught big. And sometimes you don't want to get caught big and not be able to recover and get back into the fight. I've seen some really tough guys get caught well. Real quick, I gotta share this story with you guys because I'm thinking about fights in my head, right? So one day I was in the gym working out. We was working out. And we're in the inner city. This was in Ionic Boys Club, a matter of fact, right? So we were downstairs where the weight room was. The boxing gym was right here, and the weight room was a little down the hall. You gotta kind of like turn. So there were these big dudes from like just got out of jail or some shit. And they were inside the weight room lifting, boom, boom. And this white boy named Gary, he was coming out the locker rooms from the showers. He had the towel around his head, his flip-flops on his feet type shit. He was getting dressed. He came out, he was going by the weight room. And right when he was passing the door to the weight room, the dude came out and smacked him in the face with like a 5-pound weight. He hit him right in the face with it. Boom. Yo, knocked out Gary's 2 teeth. Both of them. Pow. Yo, that white boy split like this. When the dude hit him with the weight, bro, he went back. And it was so fast, right? You can see the worriness and the fear in the white dude's face. But that shit quickly changed. Because I guess when he got hit, he was dizzy. That's when I saw he was trying to when on the floor, when he was trying to get away from the dude swung the weight again and missed him. And Gary was pushing back. Then all of a sudden, like that, Gary's eyes changed, bro. And he was pissed off. He was and he went forward. Boom, boom. And he hit the dude. Yo, bro. There was just blood coming out of his mouth. And them 2 dudes was in the hallway banging it out. Boom, 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 boom. In the end, we had to save the dude that hit him with the weight in the face. Gary was on top of him, just punching his face in a pool of just blood. The dude wasn't responding no more. But since he hit him in the face with a weight, everybody standing there was let him get his shit off. But after a while, that it was the splats and his face was turning purple from the Dudes grabbed him and got him off him because they were, Gary, you gonna kill him. Gary was like, I'm gonna kill him. I can't feel my teeth. They was like, yo, because you ain't got no teeth. They gone. He had to go down the hallway, pick up his teeth. He split his whole shit. Gary won the fight though. And the reason why I told that story is like, you can never count yourself out in a fight. Never. When I saw that, I thought Gary had no chance. Witnessing something like that, it confirms in your own head, oh, hell no, you're never out of a fight. You're never out of a fight. Long as you still got these. And if the dude's already punching, you could take his punch, give it a shot, fight back. Fight back. You know? And that's, it's the art of fighting. Not everybody has it in them, but some people, and you never know if you got it in you, man. That shit can be activated. I done seen some wimpy dudes in my hood in school and shit. Fucking, these streets turned some of these kids, they never deserved to end up the way they did. Nah, I seen some kids that was getting smacked around in the neighborhood, getting their sneakers taken for years, beat up in school. I seen him as a man. Now I see him. Fucking dude got tattoos everywhere, gold teeth, an earring out of here, a gold one over here. He's running the block now. All them ass whoopings, he just decided to fight back. I've seen that happen in the hood before. Yeah. He still can't fight, but he has enough money to buy some shit. Yeah. But that's how the world is, man. You know what I'm saying? And some of these neighborhoods be taking our kids away. But now we have some places like these, like boxing gyms, and the one that my sister has in Philadelphia, and she's really trying to make a change. And sometimes you try a lot, but that outside external force, man, that neighborhood, it's that easy money, baby. Sometimes you just can't say no. Let me get to you. Let me scroll down and catch up to you guys, because I'm all the way up here still reading messages. All right? Sabria, what? Sharice is getting destroyed. My guy. Mexican boxing #1. Front line. Y'all going still? Let me just scroll all the way down. I'm sorry. Then I'll go backwards, I guess. Okay. Hangover. Yeah. The Sweet Science. Espinoza, what? Espinoza destroying Eduardo Vargas was impressive at this guy being elite. He got robbed. Round 1, you gotta train me. Carlos is up. David Benavidez rejected again. Oh, David the Monster Benavidez rejected all those 3 fighters? I don't know, guys. I don't know what to say, guys. Callum Smith. Yard. I didn't like the Yard fight anyway. He looked like shit. They paid him a shitload of money. Who was it that he fought? Last Yard? All I remember, if you say his name, I'll know it. But he looked like shit. I don't want that Yard fight I don't like it. David the Monster Benavidez has got to do something. He's got to prove that he can beat some champions. A former world champion, current world champion, which he's not going to get that, I don't think. Demetrius Bivol and Arthur Benavidez, They're going to run it back. So I'm not sure if he's... Look, guys, I don't know, man. Do you look at David the Monster Benavidez' career and do you say to yourself, he's been in a lot of unfortunate circumstances? Or do you say that he needs to take his responsibility for his side of the street? If David the Monster Benavidez didn't go outside of the sport and use recreational drugs, cocaine, he would have never got stripped for that WBC world title. Now, would he? So he has to take some accountability here for his career stalling out. And, Saul Canelo Alvarez basically holding up the division, refusing to fight him, I guess. There was a point in time, guys, I have to be honest. David the Monster Benavidez was calling out Saul Canelo Alvarez. And I know although most of the world was so entertained with David the Monster Benavidez' top game and the volume of punches he would throw, that they really never looked down. I challenge any of my viewers right here, and let's see if we can get these likes up. We only need 5 more likes, people. Can we smash those like buttons? Let's get these likes back up here. Come on, guys. And the thing is that, right, David the Monster Benavidez didn't have good footwork at all. I know kids in my boys club got better footwork than that dude at once upon a time. Now, he has come, I'm not going to say leaps and bounds. I'm going to say leaps. Not the bound part, right? Because he could still work on his footwork, David the Monster Benavidez. There was a point in time where Saul was a lot smarter. He would have caught up to David the Monster Benavidez, and I think he would have stopped him, ironically. I think that Saul would have put him in boxing situations that he would have had him stumbling on his movement. David the Monster Benavidez had 2 left feet. He wasn't good. Tank Davis doesn't have real good footwork neither, but it's way better than his. And at that point in time, I think Saul would have beat him. Now, David the Monster Benavidez, I think Saul might have waited a little too long. I think he's got enough footwork and enough upstairs to beat Saul now. I think David the Monster Benavidez might destroy Saul Canelo Alvarez now. Back then, I think that he would have had problems. Absolutely. I'm going to have to find this charger real quick. Okay, I got it. Plug this in, and there is a feature on this device that I have it on that I can actually press the device to charge my phone. And I gotta go read the manual. So let me see what you guys are saying again here. Adam, what's up? Do you think that Turk is waiting so long to what? Put out that July card tickets. Why do I think Turk is waiting so long to put the July ticket thing out? Typically, the tickets sometimes for some cities and some situations, right, because of the magnitude of the event and stuff like that, okay. What happens is, in New York City, there's so much going on. If you start putting out the tickets, that means you're going to start booking your reservation for your hotel for those days and everything else. So I guess there's a lot of events and things going on, and New York City is the type of city that never sleeps. and they know that this event where they're going to hold it in New York, they believe they're probably going to sell out fast, right? When you got this kind of event in that kind of place, it's pretty much going to happen. It's going to sell out with the fighters you got on that card. Out in the place they have it. So, I think they'll go on. What are we in? May still? May? We still got quite a ways to go for the ticket sales. Quite a way. They didn't release the Subriel Matias tickets for his fight until like a month out from the fight. Yeah. The Naoya Inoue tickets sales went on a month and like 2 weeks out from the fight. So when we get closer, I think that that's when the ticket sales will definitely get finalized and everything would be, And I do believe that that whole fight card is set. So, not like other guys' fight cards that their fights like around the corner and they don't even have the complete card even put together. Like if you was to go, whose fight was that? Was that the Keyshawn Davis fight card? That is not complete? I'm going to have to hop back up on my computer. I don't want to guess. I don't like guessing anything. But there was a fight card I was watching. Somebody sent it to me in What's Up app. What's up, Edwin? How you doing? Who the hell's fight card was that? You're going to make me look it up, aren't you? I know you are. Damn it, and I got this thing plugged in now, which disconnected my mouse. Yo, if you know it, throw it up in the comments. Somebody left it to me in an email, or I think in What's Up chat. It was like, yo, Edwin, you know about this fight? Was it the Eduardo Nunes fight card? And like the whole card is still not together? I don't think it was that Keyshawn Davis and Edwin De Los Santos fight card. I know it was one of them. I forgot which one it was. But it's like a fight that's supposed to be like right around the corner. The J. Paul card was filled. I know that. Oh my God, Deontay Wilder. Are you... Man, I pray the best for you, Deontay Wilder. That fucking right hand is legendary. It's from the gods. And you just said, hey, I got a right hand. I might as well not learn how to box. That's right, champ. Throw it right here. Throw the right hand. You're looking good, champ. Them dudes, he was surrounded by yes men, and he never got better. That's a damn shame. With a right hand like the man that, he got a right hand from the gods. Subriel Matias, okay, and then Terrence Crawford versus Saul Canelo versus Clarissa Shields fighting. I don't know who the hell that lady is, right? Javante Tank Davis, Lamont Roach, Jesse Rodriguez fighting Kofu, Usyk fighting Dubois, Eric, Shakur Stevenson, Cepeda, okay, Jack Catterall versus Eubank, Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano, Jake Paul, the Gene. No, that fight wasn't. No, Christian and Billy. Wow, he's making a quick turnaround, huh? Peter McGreer? No, it wasn't that fight. Anyway, I can't find. It was not coming to my head. Richard Hitchison versus George Camboza, too. Richard Hitchison, bro. Would that be a fucking upset? Yo, what if George Camboza pulls it off? Fucking around and dragging little ass George Camboza up to the 140 so that Richard Hitchison can get a title defense rather than fighting Subriel Matias or any of the top guys in the IBF. They let him pick what we call a voluntary mandatory type shit. He could pick anybody in the top 15. He picked George Camboza that never fought in the weight division that got a mysterious number 3 ranking by the IBF because he worked with the IBF. He had the IBS belt, which he fell and lost to Vasily Lomachenko. Right? No, Vasily had the IBF. He had the IBO. The only time he had the IBF was when he beat Teofimo Lopez. That's right. When he came into the Vasily fight, he had the IBO. But he once had the IBF. And then he fought with Devin Haney for the WBC to unify all 4 and lost. In which George Kamboza is coming off a crazy losing streak. I think in his last 5 fights, he won 1. I'm pretty sure. I don't want to make a mistake. My freaking thing is off. I keep doing that. But I got to look this one up. Unfortunately, I got to look up George Kamboza. George Ferocious Kamboza. So let's look at him. I got him right here. Let's bring it down. I want to just be, be correct. Okay, in his last 5 fights, right? Oh, he got 2 victories. He fought Jake, which was like the Australian city neighborhood champion, right? Pathetic, truly pathetic fight. And he went the distance with him, 12 rounds. Fucking just, if you can't knock out that guy, George Kamboza, that's bad, right? So in his last 5 fights, he got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 2-3. In his last 5, he's 2-3. He beat Maxie Hughes, and he beat Jake here. He lost that Maxie Hughes fight. He lost to Devin Haney twice and Vasily. Yeah. But he's got that big win over Teo. And, that win is like keeping him irrelevant in the game for George Kamboza. But I'm telling y'all people right now, if George Ferocious Kamboza pulls this shit off and beats Richard Hitchison, boy, can you say Teofimo Lopez and George Kamboza rematch? George Kamboza would be at the 140 with the IBF. Teo has the WBO at 140 still. They're gonna, oh my God, if George Kamboza pulls that off, if I was Teo, I would fly to his fucking manager. I want that one back. And now that he has a belt, it means something. You know what I mean? I'd have to run that back. Teo, and Teo's he's a little diva himself sometimes because, he wants all this recognition and shit, and he's just going about it the wrong way and saying stupid antics to keep his name irrelevant, when all we really wanted from Teofimo Lopez is to fight some of the top guys and to really show your skills. At least I could say that Teo has dipped his toe into the pond when it comes to some tough fights. I wish I could say that about much better fighters like Tank Davis. And if we think about it, Teo fought the way better the competition between Tank and Teo. Teo's got a better record than Tank does. He's got Vasily on his record. That dwarfs any man on Tank's. Just Vasily by himself kills Tank's record. There's no fighter even remotely accomplished as Vasily. Not even close on Tank's record. He's never fought a champion at 135, former or current. He hasn't. And I don't really accept Lamont Roach's status as a champion because it was at the 130. You would have to be a former or current champion in the division I'm fighting you in. Not come down from a lower weight division and bring your championship status with you. You can't do that. If you want credit for me to give Tank Davis credit for fighting him as a champion, then his belt should have been on the line. That 130-pound championship. But it wasn't. And if you're not the champion in the division, and in 135, have you ever been a champion at 135? No. So, how the hell did Tank fight a champion at 135? Lamont Roach never became a champion at 135. I don't want to give him status for fighting a smaller champion. You shouldn't be able to get that. It's basic you trying to cheat. And I don't think the fans should award it. Because it really doesn't count. You know? So, yeah, let me read some of y'all messages. What y'all talking about. Damn, y'all are texting. God. Oh, here we go. Let's go. Let's rock. All right. This guy, Manny Pacquiao for the win, really? Good luck. Once Matias beats Puello, the ducking is going to get worse. Benavidez needs to fight Bivol. Yeah. George, frontline, 100. Pacquiao for the win. Pacquiao has a rough... He's got a lot of problems right now. If Manny Pacquiao was to win, he would make a lot of old people happy. Let's talk about some things, guys, in boxing history. Okay. If you're wondering if anybody was able to ever to pull something like this off, meaning it has to be the same situation, okay? What do we have? We have Manny Pacquiao coming up against Mario Barrio for the 147-pound WBC World Championship, which is the green one. That one right there, that's the WBO down here, which is the other green belt, and that's the real WBC right there. That's what they're fighting for, the WBC 147-pound title. Now, this thing is squeaking. I got 440. I can't find where it's squeaking from. I can't get that little thing. It's got to be inside that spring. So, if you're thinking if this has ever been pulled off before, it has. Where that a man, a champion, a decorated champion with a big name, took 5 years off the sport, got up and came back and fought a worthy opponent. Who's ever done that? Sugar Ray Leonard did it. Sugar Ray Leonard walked away from the sport for 5 years, and he came back and fought the one and only Marvelous Hagler. After 5 years of inactivity, he came back to fight that beast. Now, they were both up there in age by this point, yeah. And maybe some of their best years were behind them. But for 5 years, Marvelous Hagler was an active fighter. Now, in this situation, Manny Pacquiao is coming off 5 years and fighting Mario Barrio. Where Mario Barrio doesn't have the experience like the Marvelous one, that Sugar Ray Leonard had a much dangerous, experienced fighter. But in Manny Pacquiao's situation, he has a much younger fighter by like 16 years. Younger. So where he doesn't have that boxing experience, he has youth on his side. Now, I said this about the Manny Pacquiao situation. I think Manny Pacquiao is going to look like Manny Pacquiao for 4 rounds. After that, we might be witnessing watch one of our legends take a brutal beating. Be prepared to witness that. Be prepared for Manny Pacquiao's eyes to get swollen. There's probably going to be blood or a cut. And he's going to be asking the referee not to stop the fight. And maybe he's too tough for himself and he won't go down. And Mario Barrio is just going to be bludgeoning him. And that's a scenario I'm prepared to see. I don't want to see that. I don't think Manny Pacquiao should be in the ring fighting Mario Barrio at this point in his age of 46 years old. And by the way, Sugar Ray Leonard was, up there in age too as well, with the 5-year situation. So, can a 46-year-old come back and become world champion if you're asking that? Yes. Bernal Hopkins did it at the ripe age of 46, 47 years old. He became a world champion. Bernard Hopkins, yes, he did. There was a few champions late in their career, up there in their 40s, that did come back and do it. Bernal Hopkins became a champion at 49. At 49, he became a champion. George Foreman was a 45, but you see, with the heavyweights, it's much different. See, heavyweights, you don't need a lot of movement. And it wasn't like George Foreman was ever the fastest or just, no. He just had to wait for him to slow down just that much to catch up to him. It's basically shuffle, shuffle, shuffle going forward. But in the lower weight divisions, you're going to need skills. You're going to need your evading, your feet, your legs underneath you. And after 5 years of not taking punches to the face, you might have remembered of a point in your time where, you probably were tough and you could take punches. I'm not sure, man. I don't want to see this fight, actually. I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao get beat up like that. A lot of people are like, I never seen Mario Barrio really be that dude. He doesn't really have to be that dude against a 46-year-old guy that just came off a 5-year layoff. I don't think Manny's going to be able to move for... I think his body's going to... it's not going to react the way he wants. Nah. And I'm prepared to see a beatdown, bro. If Manny Pacquiao comes out here and shocks the world, bro, I'm going to lose my mind. I might have a party by myself. Throw a parade in the street. I might just go outside and riot. Bust a bottle, kick my can open. Ah! You know what I mean? And then calm down, sweep everything up and put it back before, my neighbors, I live in a good neighbor, can't be acting crazy out here. Right? Right? But that would do one for the old guys like myself. If he pulls, I'm older than Manny Pacquiao. I'm older than him. If he pulls that shit off, that's one for us. And I've already announced it here on Round One Sports TV. I've already talked about it, but I'm gonna say it again on this live. Manny Pacquiao pulls that shit off, Floyd Mayweather's coming out of retirement. Mark my words, guys. Hit them like buttons. Can I get a 100? Some 100s, right? Floyd Mayweather is coming out of retirement. Why? They both need money. It's no secret Manny Pacquiao needs money. Floyd always can use a few bucks, right? If Manny Pacquiao pulls that off, that's a real 147-pound title of the world. He has a real belt. He did his part. You shoot those two guys, Floyd versus Manny, for a real WBC 140. How much money would that pull in Vegas? He'll do better numbers with Floyd than anyone At the one, even if he fought Jerron Boots Ennis and Brian Norman Jr. back to back, he still won't make more money than just Floyd and Manny's name alone. And remember, Floyd is older than Manny. Floyd comes out of retirement and the world's going to have one more crack at trying to take away that O from Floyd Mayweather. You mean to tell me that the world won't tune in to get one more crack at fucking Floyd and his record that he's always, I'm 50-0, I'm 50-0. Bro, Robert Garcia, Oscar De La Hoya, all those Mexican dudes, they all wanted a crack at Floyd. And when he rode off into the sunset, it was over. And Floyd had the last laugh. There's a lot of people in this world that will pay one more crack at Floyd Mayweather. Even when the Jake Paul, Logan Paul fought Floyd Mayweather, even if he would have knocked Floyd out in that ring, it wouldn't have counted for nothing. That was just for bragging rights, right? Because it was an exhibition. It doesn't actually go on his real record. Those fights in Japan, if Floyd would have got knocked out, it doesn't count. His career record, 50-0, it's sealed. It's done. The only way you can get at that record, if Floyd is foolish enough to come back to real competitive sports in a real ranking. And if he was to lose, it will count as a loss. Fucking Manny Pacquiao gets that belt and says, Floyd, come on, let's go. You think Floyd is not going to say yeah? Bro, Manny Pacquiao is, if anybody ever had a hope of beating Mayweather, Manny got to do this first part first. Am I the only person looking at it this way? I'm telling you right now. And then Manny Pacquiao, right? Because you know Floyd always the A side. Manny Pacquiao is going to be like, I got the belt, not you, Floyd. And without me in this belt, Floyd, you don't got nothing. Floyd, I'm inviting you out on a date. You ain't taking me out on a date. That's what Manny Pacquiao going to say, right? So Manny Pacquiao is going to be the A side. Guess what's going to happen? No drug testing. He's going to want to fight Floyd in fucking some Filipino fucking country. Well, we don't got to test. And if Floyd wants that fucking bankroll, he might have to listen to Manny. Floyd called all the shots the last time. He made Manny take the blood work and urine. Leading into the fight, after the fight, all that. He picked the size of the ring, size of the gloves, you know, the venue. Floyd, he was the A side. If Manny Pacquiao wins this belt, he becomes the A side. Now, Floyd can yell from a building all he wants. I'm always the A side. I'm Floyd Mayweather. I don't give a fuck. You don't got a belt. That's it. The champion is the A side. Shut that shit off. Now it's going to be up to Floyd to, maybe he might say no. Nah, I'm not doing it. You know? Maybe he might say yes. That could turn out to be a pretty, I don't think they do $1 billion. I don't think it's $1 billion fight. No. But I think it's a lot more money than rematching fucking Mario Barrio or fighting. Because if, let's just think about this realistically, guys. Like, realistically. If Manny Pacquiao pulls that off, is he ready to defend the belt? Win the rest of the 47-pound weight division? You guys really think Manny Pacquiao is ready to make a run No, I think he's like on a 1 or 2 fight type mission. Get in, 2 fights, see how you fare. You know, if he gets knocked out in these next 2 fights, you guys got to remember that the legend that's Manny Pacquiao, with every loss, starts to go further and further away from the who's the GOAT conversation. Manny Pacquiao has 8 losses. How many Floyd Mayweather got? Who won out of the first time they fought? The only way Manny can get back into that conversation, he lures first, he got to beat Mario Barrio, then he got to lure Floyd in, then he has to beat Floyd. If he can beat Floyd, he's back in the conversation. Oh, he's back in the conversation. And it would be like a title defense, technically, on who? Floyd man, Floyd ain't letting that happen. I got Floyd in the fight. I don't care if he's older than Manny. I still got Floyd. Hey. But that's a tough assignment, and that's a lot of fantasy island talk. The odds of all that happening, 0 to none, and none just jumped out the window. So that's just like 0 in my head. I don't think Manny can pull that off. Not all of that. Somewhere he's going to fall. Either he falls to Floyd or he falls to Mario Barrio. I don't think he pulls the whole scenario off. Nah. But you never know. You know, enough Austrian, we've seen it. Enough Austrian, you can win a fight. Yo. They be rocking Ryan Garcia, right? And it's crazy. In this sport, there's a lot of favoritism, a lot of double standards in the sport of boxing, right? Because one drug cheat doesn't get treated like the next drug cheat. You understand? I don't think Saul Canelo Alvarez is being scrutinized like Ryan Garcia is. I don't think so. Conor Ben is being fucking revered as like fucking hero right now, right? They want Ryan Garcia's head on a platter. If you ask some of Devin Haney's supporters, they want Ryan Garcia thrown out of boxing and to his career to be terminated. But what about Tyson Fury? Why don't people talk about him on the same drug cheat type? You know what I mean? Sometimes there's double standards in the sport. It really is. You know? Gerald Miller tested, what, not once, not twice, 3 times. He tested for a banned substance coming up against that AJ fight, which they took him out. And here comes Andy the Destroyer Ruiz that pulls off one of the greatest upsets and like fucking ever. And when he beat Anthony Joshua. But I don't hear a lot of circles calling for his head. No. He's actually went on to fight other fights. And Andy Ruiz himself, in fact, no one even brings it up. I've actually never heard anybody go or say, starting the conversation, here comes Gerald Big Baby Miller, whatever, the drug cheat. And that wasn't Gerald Miller. I got his name mixed up. It's Miller. I got the 2 big babies' first and last names mixed up. I know it. I just caught myself. But you know what I'm talking about. The baby that was fighting AJ. So, Yeah, so like sometimes in the sport of boxing, there's a lot of double standards. You know what I mean? So, you know, it is what it is. Yo, can we let's get these likes up? Got 32 likes, 37 people. Let's get the matching likes. Can you think we can get to the goal of 37 and 37? Do me a favor and hit that like button for me. What do we got? But if he wins, he's going to what? Make yeah. We were reading that. Okay, can't take you to when he's what? The Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight was what? Was lame. I mean, he's fighting a fucking 90,000-year-old man. Sad day in boxing, yeah. Hangover. Who's my favorite active Puerto Rican fighter? It would be hilarious if he beats him. Yeah, I gotta start scrolling down. My favorite active Puerto Rican fighter? That's pretty tough. I like Oscar Duarte. I mean Oscar Collazo. Sorry, Oscar Collazo. I like Oscar Collazo. Of course, I like Subriel Matias. Right, he's one of my favorite. But there's a lot of young. What's his name? He's only got two fights. He's a young kid. He's gonna be one pretty soon. Juanita. Juanita Lopez. Let's see. I mean, Xander Zion. He's gotta be like my top guy. He's truthfully gotta be like one of my top guys. I mean, Shakur Stevenson. Yeah, he's established as a Puerto Rican fighter, but he's not my favorite by far. No. Um, there's just a lot of other Puerto Rican fighters that I can think of that are really like, you know. But I'm gonna go right now. Right now, am I missing anybody? Who am I missing? Sanchez. I don't watch a lot of him. Uh, Emmanuel Rodriguez. I loved his style of fighting. I love the way Emmanuel Rodriguez fights. Um, but I'm gonna have to go with um, Xander Zion. Yeah, that he's probably my favorite Puerto Rican fighter right now. Besides Oscar, they're like right there. They're like right there. You know, yeah. I'm sorry, I gotta skip some of these because I gotta catch up to you guys. Because I'm like so far behind. Tio, what? Shakur. Yeah, like let me just start. Jesus Christ! Yo, I'm sorry, I just had to go with it. Ah! And XL with the 5 piece in the super chat, baby! Hand it off right there. Respect to round one. I wish you would touch and yeah, nah, I'm on the phone. It's so, you know, that by time, and then me, I be going on rants sometimes. So I need like frontline in here and shit when I go on my lives to help me out with that. But I will interact more. But if you guys hit those super chats that really want to get my attention, and I'll see them popping up, I'll read off your messages quicker. You seen you just dropped that super chat. I was right on it. So if you want my attention, drop a super chat with the like. You can't stop the takedown. What? Stop smoking that shit? And me and Ness and all of us, like on the Boxing Voice and shit, we a community of like guys that would just chill, lay back, and they'll be smoking their marijuana or whatever, and some will smoke a cigar or roll up a cigarette or whatever, like tobacco, rolling up tobacco and tobacco products, you know what I mean, like that, and yeah, we'll have like a smoke or whatever because doing these for hours on the stream and stuff, it's tough sometimes, and but I don't want to have any kids or influence any kids at all too. So sometimes that is in the back of my mind, But my channel is programmed specifically not for children but for adults, where you could see an adult having a cigarette or a marijuana joint, cigarettes, whatever, a vape pen, and we could still have conversations. I'm not an active fighter. I'm 50 for God's sakes. So, not that I can't, because I'm thinking about going to them border wars. I'm trying to tell you, man. I think I got one left good one in me. You know what I mean? But right away, once I think about that shit, I remember training's no joke, man. And if you've ever trained before, or if you ever fought before, like really trained for events, you know what you got to do. Half doing shit, cutting corners, not training the weight can get you hurt. One punch can get you hurt. And I didn't stay this pretty for this long because I took punches to the face frequently, all right? I was doing my fair share of punches, so I don't want to get to this age and be like, yeah, put me in, and then blah, you get a big, and your nose is twisted over. I don't feel like going through that shit right now, man. I really don't. I like being fresh as fuck, boy, you know what I'm saying? Looking, you know what I mean? So that's what sometimes, like, stops me, but the blood inside of me boils sometimes. It does. Like, competition calls, like, it always has. If I'm not talking about boxing, I'm thinking about boxing. If I'm not thinking about boxing, I'm actually fighting or hitting a bag. If I'm not hitting a bag, I'm back to thinking about fighting. I don't gotta say it to myself. You don't gotta tell me to think about it. You don't gotta talk about it. You don't gotta. From the minute that's what I think about. I don't know why. For as long as I can remember, I've always thought like that. Think of like the craziest fights in your head type shit. Where you fantasize over these situations and shit. Or you watch a Kung Fu theater movie. And you come out the movie theater. Whoa! Like we were all like of 12 years old and shit. I remember them days and shit. So, but that's basically where I'm at with that. So. Oh shit, we got another 5-piece in the building. You know what I mean? Hey yo. Read my whole super chat. One. What's that say? Can you give us some? Damn, wish I could blow that shit up. Oh shit, I moved my screen, but the super chat thing didn't get bigger. For Sunday, and tell us who the bigger sellout are of the YouTube boxing community. What? Super chat. Yo, that shit got my eyes fucked up. Does that say? God damn it, I can't tell that word apart. I think that shit says OYE. I think. Will works for subs. Will works for subs. Boxing and wrestling have to be two of the sports that really kick start physical combat. Yeah. Hangover. Tell us about one fight you thought you would have lost, but you didn't. Is this Usyk the boxing champ? Is it Usyk the boxing champ? LX. Fortnite does round one speak Spanish. Claro que sí, yo hablo español. ¿Por qué? ¿Tú hablas español también? Yo soy boricua, so, sí, yo hablo español, claro. No, el problema es que los ojos míos están bien malos y yo no me pongo gafas. Y estos se ríen porque ellos saben que yo soy más ciego que a fucking bat, bro. An owl in the daytime. Chacho, estoy bien ciego. His Spanish is no bueno. Nah, I can't see well for shit, Carlos. I caught up to your messages. Now I'm just gonna go backwards a little bit. Damn, frontline. Cody got a picture with Diddy. Some baby oil. What the hell is going on in the chat? You would pay to see me in the ring? Tell us about the time you were in the ring. There was a lot of crazy experiences for me in the ring and stuff, right? One time I fought an amateur fight in my jeans. I wasn't even scheduled to fight. I knew when Carlos told me, Edwin, just come for the bus ride. That motherfucker got me to fight. I was in my jeans, bro. That one of the biggest moments was for me was that little Golden Gloves that Armando went down to the archives in Springfield Library for me. I'll never forget that, Armando. And he found my picture newspaper clipping of me winning the Golden Gloves. And it was the lower ranked Golden Gloves, not like the big ones yet. And I was working my way to get there, right? And I was like all of like 15 years old or something like that, 16, 15. And I was coming off an extensive layoff. Like when I was like 12 to 13, I was probably at my best. 14, 15 like that, I was getting like there, and then like in between there, I stopped fighting. I was hanging out on the street. So I remember my mom getting ill. She was sick, and I had to go to Springfield. And then I ran into some of the guys, and it was like the Golden Gloves is going on. And I had won like all my qualifying matches. Like I didn't lose to that point. So I get in there, the Golden Gloves and shit, and this kid, I guess, supposed to be some Billy Badass, won these tournaments like 2 years in a row. So the guys in my gym really didn't see much of me. But what they did not know was someone else was training me. And the person that trained me for my Golden Gloves and I'll never be ashamed to admit this, my mom, my mother trained me for those Golden Gloves. That's the God honest truth. My mother used to watch my father train. My father was like number 6, 7 in Puerto Rico and shit. And they shot my father down. They shot him like 5, 6 times. He lived, but he never boxed again. But my father was a real, like, jealous guy. So he would never leave my mom home. So for years throughout my father's boxing career, she had to sit on the bench and watch him train. Year after year after year. So I was going through this Golden Glove shit. And I'm shadow boxing in my mom's basement. Because I entered. But I didn't have the luxury to go to Worcester to train with the guys. I was an hour away in Springfield. So my mom walks in the room. She grabs I swear to God, she grabbed the sheet. And she got all the dirty laundry in the house. And she put it in the sheet. She had me tied up. And I put it over the pipe. We had like a big, thick pipe running through the basement. And I tied it over the pipe. And my mom, she had like this stick. It was like real long. It was like a bamboo-like stick, it looked like. But I think that's exactly what it was. A fucking thin ass, now that I think of it. And she says, hit the bag. I was like, Mom, come on. She was hit the bag. And I boom, and she fucking smacked my elbow. And I was like, what? And she was like, your arm, tighten it like this, do this. And she said, don't block with your hands going up like this all the time. Just bend your knees. And my mom, I'm looking at her like, and she's like, I know all this because of your dad. She says, and she said, and for like 3 weeks, the last 3 weeks, my mother trained me in that basement. My mom trained me. And when I got to the Golden Gloves, I got the Worcester team went there by themselves. I met them there. I was already in Springfield. So I get there, and I go downstairs, and I meet the guys. And we don't got, like, professional setup. You know, the guys you're fighting are probably in the same room you're in, downstairs in the locker room. You're, like, right here, and they're, like, right there. You could see each other. So I could hear them talking shit about me. About how I'm gonna lose, how I look small, how a bunch of shit. So I was like, all right. So I'm looking at my guys and I'm telling them, yo, I'm about to fuck this dude up, right? And they're not looking at me. None of my friends are looking me in the eye. They're like, yeah, you're gonna win. And I'm like looking at them in their faces. I'm like, motherfucker, look at me. Tell me that to my eyes. You believe I'm gonna win. And none of them will look at me. None of them. And I remember like feeling so mad that they didn't believe in me. That I remember I was wrapping my hands by myself. Dudes weren't even helping me. Like I was being led out to slaughter. And in that moment, I decided if I was going to lose, I was going to do my best. I decided in that moment to embrace the fear. In that moment, I no longer wanted to be scared. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to do any of that. And I didn't even want to feel the anger eerily. What I wanted to do was show everybody out there I was a better fighter. And the way I was going to do that, I wasn't going to let rage consume me. To go up there and be like, ah, like I've done that before. And I wasn't going to let fear make me hesitant. And I wasn't going to let his size or everything they said to let doubt creep in. in that moment, I bet it on myself. I remember I walked up there by myself. My coach wasn't even in my corner. And I walked up to the ring by myself. And then I turned around and my coach was there. I don't know where he came from. And the fight kicks off. Every time he threw a punch, the fucking crowd went crazy. Because he was from Springfield. Although I was out there with my mom because my mom was sick at the time and she was living in Springfield, I was from Worcester. So the fight kicks off. And all I remember that day was that if he was going to kick my ass, well, then I was going to give him something. And I said to myself, you're going to beat me? You're going to beat me? Well, then hold this. Bah! And I kept just snapping that jab. Bah! Bah! And then I could see the frustration in his face. And, thinking back, I probably in my head think that I was floating like a butterfly, stinging like a bee. Probably in the camera footage, it'll show me a little bit more, right? But he wasn't catching up to me. In the second round, he hit me with a big shot. Boom! And I saw that flash. And I knew I got hit big. But I didn't feel it. I saw the flash. I didn't feel the punch. Because in the first round, I felt his punches. But after my adrenaline started kicking in, I didn't feel his punch. But I knew I got hit big because you could hear the crowd go, ooh. That's when I came off the ropes and I was like, what? Boom, boom, boom. And he went down. When he dropped, the referee grabbed my he like a security guard in a mall just caught me shoplifting or something. He was like, get to your corner, right? Fucking Springfield ref, right? And that's a Springfield guy, you know what I mean? So I remember him doing that and I went to my corner. So he gets up, we end the second round. I go in the corner, my coach tells me, Edwin, why don't you fight like this in the gym? He's like, yo, listen, you're winning this fight. You're winning. He told me, yo, you won the first 2 rounds. Unless he stops you, Edwin, you're about to win the Golden Gloves. Right? I heard what he said. Yeah, I could have played it safe. But I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that no more. All bets were off. I already dropped you. When I dropped him in the second round, a surge of energy went through my body. It was over, baby. I was looking for a knockout. I wanted to finish him. Coach was telling me, just stay away from him, Edwin. You're going to win this. And I was like, I was hearing what he was saying, but yo estaba entregado. That's it. I was at the point of no return in my head. I didn't hear. I heard him, but I didn't listen to nothing he said. As soon as he got out my way, I was like, let's go. 35 seconds later, the fight was over. I knocked him out 35 seconds in the third round. TKO'd him. They stopped the fight. I went right at him. Boom, boom, boom. I was like, yo, you gonna beat me? You gonna beat me, dog? You gonna beat me? Yo, I beat the brakes off him. Yo, what fear, a little bit of focus, and embracing your situation can do for you. That's what it did for me. That's what it did for me. Just no retreat, no surrender. They were looking in my eyes like they counted me out. You counted me out? I was like, what? That was probably one of the biggest moments of my life. In that moment, To bring that trophy to my mom's house was ridiculous. If I tell you the rest of the story, I'll fucking cry. Because I fucking won the trophy, bro. And I broke it coming home. I dropped it. The bottom of the base cracked. When I got home, the trophy was all in pieces. And I was like, Ma, I won it, but I dropped it. I did. I dropped it. Coming off the fucking bus. And my mom, bro, she knew how much it meant to me. By the time I woke up the next morning depressed, the trophy was right there, all put together. And it had my name on the bottom. She got up that morning and took the trophy. She, underneath it, it has where the trophy was made, a sticker. And she went and had the bottom replaced. And it was just like a straight metal pole all the way up with like one screw. And they were like big trophies like that. And my mom had it fixed. And when I got up, I was surprised and I was happy. And I was like, Ma, you got it fixed. And she was like, yeah, and I got your name on it. And I was like, yeah. She got it fixed for me. But that day right there is probably like my most dangerous fights didn't happen in a ring. In a boxing ring. They didn't happen in a boxing ring. My most dangerous fights happened in the streets. And in like fucking bars or restaurants or whatever, shit like that. Yeah. It's 3 in the jeans 2-1. What the hell is all that about? Get that regulate fucking front line. Salute, legend. I need to be a coach. I've coached some kids I would love to coach, but I don't have the time nowadays with everything. I would love to coach my nephew, you know, but he's all the way in Philadelphia, and I'm out here in Boston. With everything, my daughter's situation, you know, with everything, I just don't have the time to dedicate to coach any one particular person. And stepping in when someone is already established or something, you know, that's not really your fighter, and then coming up all the way with one kid or something, you know, coaching, unless, you know, like you're like a Robert Garcia, where that he has 60 plus fighters in his stable, and he has a system, you know, and he dedicates his life completely. That's his job, coaching. That he has the luxury where he can pay his bills and do what he loves. I'm not in that situation. I would have to volunteer my time and everything with no pay, which I don't mind coaching anybody for pay. It's not why I do it anyway. Just for the love of the sport, I'll train them for free, you know, just to see them go in there and win. I get something out of that, you know. My wins come vicariously through the fighter, you know, because we train together, we prepared together. This victory is ours, you know. The win is his and the victory is mine, you know, type shit. But I would love to coach, but I don't have the time right now, and I don't have the means. Like, say, like, the gym was, like, right there or something, then I'd probably become a coach. Yeah. But it would have to suit me because of my situation with my very own daughter, which I have to be almost a constant 24 hours with my daughter. So that's what really means, because my daughter takes a lot of my time and stuff. So yeah, but I would love to coach. Just really never had the opportunities. Well, I had them. You know, there's gyms down here that they know me and I've been in, and you know, I'm pretty sure they'll let me give a hand down there. They've even asked me to come down and help out. Still, it's just too far away. That's almost a 2-hour commute there, and 2 hour. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too far away from where I'm at. You know, it takes an hour just to get out of my town to get to the nearest city. So it's just my situation. But if that was to ever change, you know, you guys drop some super chats and I get a couple bucks, I open my own gym, shit can change. Or like, I wouldn't mind training guys on virtual like the virtual world. Like, I'm thinking about, like, not train for anything, but maybe just get back in shape. You know, and if I had enough people or something and you guys wanted to just do the workouts, you know, we could do the shadow boxing, the push-ups, the jump rope together, do 3-round drills or whatever. And at least that'll get you fit. It'll get us fit. You know, and maybe, you know, something like that. You know, and give 35 minutes of our day. 35, 40 minutes of the day. I talk longer than that. You know what I'm saying? We could have been did a workout. So, I'm going to be on live anyway. I wouldn't mind going live and working out. Put together some workouts. Put together some things that we all have access to. You know, simple workouts. And who knows, go up from there or something. I suggested this a while back, but I really didn't get any feedback from it. You know, so I was like, all right, whatever. But, yeah, I'm thinking about just hopping back in there. Shit, you guys want to know the truth? I'm thinking about buying some snack. If that shit got them boys winning them, I'm about to get on the snack bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to buy me some snack. Man, shit. I'm not being dope tested. I'm not no professional athlete. I can take snack. Matter of fact, give me the real version. You know what I mean? I'll take that. Shit, I could use a PE or a steroid. Hey, I'm gonna call Ryan. You know where to get some Ostrine? Yo, I bet you do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're citizens. We're not. I mean, we're not professional athletes. You know, sometimes we think about steroids or PE and we automatically bad. But wait a minute. They actually make that for people like us. We don't compete. We can take it to get some energy or, you know. But I don't know about PEs. I don't know nothing about them. I don't know what's good for you, what's not, what'll fuck up your liver. What's the difference between a PE and a steroid? I never really looked into them. And I've never taken I've taken supplements like vitamins and shit, of course, right? But I was never a pro boxer. So I never got to that level where that ever became a thing. Like on the street, you're not looking for a steroid drug dealer. Yo, who got them roids, bro? I want them roids, bro. Like, nah. So I've never used anything like that, you know. But if them PEs can do that for those dudes, and I've been around a few gyms in my days, I've seen dudes take PDs, I've heard of stories, but I've never actually taken one. But and then it gets me nervous, in my age, I'm like, damn, I've never taken, I fucking take it, and my heart don't stop or something, you know what I'm saying? I'm fucking out there still running. And here comes round one, this guy hasn't stopped running for 5 days, and there he goes again. And you know what I'm saying? I don't want something bad to happen to me. So I guess I would have to look some shit like that up. But I was thinking about shit like that. I was like, yo, let me get some of that Ryan Garcia shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna smoke on Ryan Garcia pack and go out there and get it in. You know? Ask him, yo, Ryan, next time he on an interview. Yo, Ryan, you know where to get some Austrian? Yeah, I'm looking for some. You know what I mean? You know? But they sell that snack shit online. Victor Content and shit. He's got his own little snack pack product. And I was looking at it and I was saying to myself, shit, I should just buy some fucking snack and just train. Just to get myself snapping, feeling better. You know what I mean? Type shit. You know? Snack it the fuck up. You know what I mean? Who the fuck is gonna kick open my door and drug test me? My wife? Yo, poof, the wife boxing athletic committee. We think you're on the snack. Honey, it's a lie. They lying. They lying. Yo, I don't know where that Austrian came from. You know, I ain't no fucking professional athlete. Stay focused. What'd you say, legend? Fuck you. You guys are crazy. It is OYE. What's up, guys? Let me read your shit. Cuban Stone? Public? What's that? Well, no, what? That's not a good guy. That public? That says, Pablo Estrada's. I want to know something. What's up? Jay, what's up? I look like a movie character, bro. Jay? Not in a bad way? Anything? Well, then what the hell? How the hell did I just do that? You know, no. Take that shit off. What the fuck is this shit? What did I press? I done pressed some shit. What the fuck is this? Green shit. Green screen. Why is this green screen over here? I don't need a green screen. I have a back. What the fuck did I just press? On, off, put that off. I know I pressed something. No. Hold up. I done pressed some bullshit, man. What the fuck did I just press, bro? Oh my God, can you guys still hear me? Bang bang, can you hear me? Okay, now I got that back on. What the hell is this? Oh, okay, wait. Oh, I pressed the picture. So I take it off. It was a picture that I took. Oh, I saw what I pressed. I was like, a green screen? What the fuck I want a green screen for? My shit's official. I don't want nothing, no green screen blocking my stuff. Okay, I can't make the camera smaller. Alright, cool. Yeah, you can hear me? Yeah, nah. Like, there's a lot of features on the phone that is different from the laptop. You know what I mean? And my laptop, I had disassembled it and put it everything like I was putting it back together because I was gonna take it to the Philly show. And then when I got back, I was only gone for 2 days. When I got back, the missus needed all my attention, so I haven't really gotten to like connect everything back. So I get back in today. I got a couple new things that I was putting up because you guys know that I'm always putting up the studio, enhancing, and once again, shouts out to King's Boxing Gym. You know, we had the event and the belts were on the line. You guys saw the belts. My sister, man, she does a lot of good things for those kids, huh? You know, she had them walking around with them belts, man, feeling real good about themselves. These shits were way better belts than the belts we were getting as kids. Hell yeah. That's awesome. So down there in Philly, North Philadelphia, I'm gonna be going back out there, see some more amateur boxing. I'm also going around the Boston area too as well. I'm gonna go some more events, film some more boxing events, take you guys with me, so that we can watch these fights together. And what else? What else you guys like talking about? What's up? Talk to me, Legend. What's up? You back now? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that would be definitely dope, bro. Going back, there's a couple events and stuff that we're talking about, and I'm gonna see if I can get out to there. I always love watching some boxing events and shit, and watching the young guys come up and stuff, because these guys are fighting to prove themselves. These guys are fighting. They're fighting. So sometimes those boxing matches, that young kid at the end, the main event, he was doing his thing, little Terrence Crawford, I called him. You know, and I was really happy for the young men, and hopefully they stick to it. And I can honestly say, I watched you when you were a kid. I was there in your amateur fights. And that's great when you see some of these guys come up. Unfortunately, sometimes some disappear. We never hear from them. And that's always a possibility. But yes, absolutely. Who is dropped? What are you guys talking about? I can't wait for next live at gym. Yeah. Oh, I was dropped. When I dropped the 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 the, the live thing, and I had to go back. Yeah. That had like part of the video, and then that dropped, and then the other. But these are all learning curves with all these events and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just a boxing fan that has a boxing family that has been boxing. Uh, um, I'm chasing my dream of meeting the best world champions the world has to offer. I want to meet these men and women, you know, uh, and to be able to interview them. This is what I'm into, man. You know, I love a good fight. I like a lot of other sports, but I haven't really watched any other sports anymore. Since Tom Brady left football, I haven't watched another football game, and I haven't watched basketball God knows how long, or a baseball game. I'll usually watch when like the baseball teams in the World Series or the NBA championships. Sometimes I'll catch it. I really don't care who wins in the NBA anymore. Boxing has consumed my life. That's the only sport I watch. Boxing. That's it. I don't cheat on boxing with nothing. I don't even watch UFC anymore. You know? My man with the 20 piece. Yeah. It's been a while. Love your energy. Thank you. Thank you. You know? And thank you for the support. Definitely. Let me hit you with the loves right there in the heart. Yo. Michelle Rivera is on. What? See them when them letters get too big and you pack them together, you put the I and the L? That fucks with my eyes. I think that says milk what? But I don't want milk on a milk carton. I mean, Michelle Rivera's in a milk carton. That means he's missing. I thought that said milk carton, but I was like, nah, why would somebody say that? Nowhere to be found. We don't talk that here. We drama stays out. They must be talking about the tone thing a little bit. Yeah, we're past that shit. But, like, yeah, we boxing fans here. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do. You know, we keep the negativity that way. You know, but definitely. I'm back, had to finish watching a new movie. Yeah. You know, in this boxing thing, you know, it can be tough. And the reason why it can be tough to be a great boxer, especially in the U.S., is because the U.S. fans have a tendency is when the fighter loses, they like, ironically, in some cases, sometimes, fighters that lost have seemed to like really raise their value. For instance, I thought that Esau Pitbull's Cruz's stock really rise when he lost to Tank Davis. You know? And he's a Mexican fighter and they show him love like that. But an American guy loses, you know, it's hard in the US. You gotta kind of stay undefeated because of this like 0-0 shit Mayweather started. And I think a lot of our guys are really caught on to that, you know, with this defending the old shit. I'm more on the line. We need to go back in an era where it was more important the men and the names you shared the ring with, rather than being scared of losing. All of my legends lost. The Four Horsemen, they fought each other in my time. And they didn't really care about that undefeated shit. What they cared about is when you look back at my resume, you can look at it and say, that's a Hall of Famer, that's a fucking legend, that guy, right? You know what I'm saying? He's a champion, etc., and so forth and so forth. How many Hall of Fame fighters have you fought throughout your career? Men like Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, they're not going to be able to say that. How many Hall of Fame fighters has Shakur Stevenson fought? How many world champions? How many has... That's all going to come out at the end. It's going to mean something. And I really think we should start to change our mindsets about this. Oh, trying to get to the end of your career undefeated. I think it's hurt boxing, actually, viewing it in that light. I think even if our fighters were to lose, we need to show support. That's why, like, fighters like, I've talked about this, like Edgar Berlanga, when he celebrated off that victory, off that loss like a victory with Saul Canelo Alvarez. Most people on the outside, not understanding what took place, would have thought Edgar won for as much partying as he did. But that can't be further from the truth. See, Puerto Ricans were happy with what Edgar was able to do. And just because the Americans don't throw a parade or a party, so to speak, for their guy when they lose, we still support our guys in a win or a loss. So we were happy for him. And just because you saw us partying, it might have turned some people off like, damn, you act like you won. No, that's just us being loyal to our fighter and not turning our back on him when he lost. And showing him support. Showing him whether you win or lose, guess what? We still rocking with you. And as Americans, I think we should take a page out of our book. Because Puerto Ricans are American too. And learn how to appreciate our guys' win or loss. Not just throw them back into obscurity. And you know, boxing's funny like that. Any combat sport. There's some guys that can continue to lose, and in people's mind, they're still the greatest fighter in the world. Manny Pacquiao. 8 losses, bro. He's been knocked out 3 times. Out of them 8 losses. Remarkably, he's the greatest fighter in the world to some people. Yeah. But he's Filipino. And they know how to treat their fighter. He's not an American. And that's my point. We need to back up our guys, man. We need to, like, you know, if we supported our fighters like this, fighters like Tank Davis and Shakur wouldn't be scared to lose. They'd be in there mixing it up with each other. But the impression we give them, you lose just once. Ya no sirve. I think that's wrong. Why you think Tank Davis is so scared to take a risk? Shakur, all of them guys. Even Teo. And he already lost. No one wants to ruin their record that bad. The objective was to retire undefeated. And the rest of these countries are fighting their hearts out. The UK don't fight like that. They don't give a fuck who wins, loses. They fighting each other. They don't care. In the Philippines, they don't act like that. In Japan, they don't act like that. Nowhere else they act like that. Only here. That they only value your success by being undefeated. The only reason why Subriel Matias still has a buzz because of the Puerto Ricans. Because the Americans don't even know him. After he lost, because of us. Because we value our fighters. Win or lose. That's the truth. That is the truth. What happens when Keyshawn Davis, if he was to fall? What's going to happen? You guys are going to see with your own eyes. Some people are going to walk away. Some people will stay because you always got your loyal fans, right? You know, everybody got your little group of loyal fans. But if it was not for us Puerto Ricans, Subriel would have fallen into obscurity on the rankings. Yeah. So we value our fighters. We understand as Puerto Rican men in an island, we have very few of them. Very few. And even fewer superstars or that even make it to that level. So when we get some of these guys like Oscar Collazo and, you know what I'm saying, Sanchez and you know, Subriel Matias is going to pull this off, man. He's got to pull it off. If he loses his fight, I have no idea what he's going to do. He'll still be in the WBC ranking, yes. Yes, he will. He'll fall down in the IBF. Well, he'll fall down in the WBC, actually. This is a WBC fight. In the IBF, he'll still be having his top ranking. And since in the IBF, there's no number 1 and number 2 right now in their ranking, he shouldn't fall. So he'll still have a shot at Richard Hitchison's belt if Richard Hitchison beats George Camboza, vacates the belt, and moves up. Because that's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Richard Hitchison's going to beat George Camboza, right? And then he's going to vacate that IBF and move up. So, and then Subriel could, if he fell, he would still might have a shot at the IBF at some point in time. He'll have to fight another eliminator and then see if, but by then he'll be upwards of 34, 35. Yeah, Subriel's got to win this fight, man. Unfortunately, he's got to win this fight for us. He's got a big challenge in Alberto Puello there, man. This Dominican dude can box, bro. He can fucking box, man. He's got me worried, nervous. This is probably Subriel's biggest challenge. Right here, this guy. Ironically, I still think that he fought tougher men. Like, I don't think Alberto Puello is the toughest guy Subriel's ever fought. But he's definitely the most skilled. Yeah. I'm not sure if I can say Puello is punches harder than even Liam Paro. I saw that fight live. I was there in Puerto Rico watching Liam Paro lose to, Subriel Matias lose to Liam Paro. I was there. I heard Liam Paro's punches. I saw Liam Paro working out. Remember, guys, I was filming him. And we were saying, bro, Liam Paro's punches sound hard. Remember? People in the chat were Subriel Matias supporters. And on the low, y'all were like, he looks strong. And like one person tweeted, Subriel looks like he's weight drained. See, he looked like he was sucked in, like, and we ignore all warning signs because of the love and support of our Puerto Rican fighter. We knew it was there, we just didn't speak it out loud. It's what we did. We all actually saw all the warning signs in Subriel, but collectively we kept them to ourselves. That's what we did. That's just the truth. And I saw Liam Paro, the way he cracks. He was like, pow, pow. I'm not sure Alberto Puello got that kind of punching power. It might not be off that far from Liam Paro, but for my money, from the gyms I've been in, I've interviewed Liam Paro, I've saw him work out myself. Liam Paro like that big, bro. Right? And, well, he's like this big. He's about that big, Liam Paro. I stood next to him, talked to him. I seen his power. And firsthand. So, I think he hits harder than Alberto Puello, Liam Paro. For my money, yeah, he does. But Alberto Puello got more skill than Liam Paro. But Liam Paro was the smarter out of Puello's tactic so far. So far. I can't say he's smarter because he hasn't fought Alberto Puello yet. Let's see what kind of game plan he comes up with. Then I can tell you who had a smarter game plan. The only thing with Liam Paro, he got away with excessive clinching. Like excessive. In Puerto Rico. In fucking with a Puerto Rican judge or whatever, referee. And they let him get away with that. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, they let him get away with that shit. But you could definitely believe right now they're gonna be on high alert with that. Let me read some of y'all chats. It's not sad. It's what? Now I gotta go backwards and read all these chats. Definitely. Puerto Rico has gone down in boxing since Cotto. Well, it's gone down there. You know what I'm saying? What's that? Oh boy. If he keeps acting up, front line, just block him. Can I shout out Bentley? What's up, Bentley? Yo, Carlo, front line. Just boot him. Stop putting him on timeouts. Just boot him. Ortiz got the interim belt for Fondora's WBC belt. Well, Sebastian Fedora did a couple moves that I'm not liking. Sebastian Fedora vacated that belt. I don't think he really had to vacate that belt. You know, he vacated the what was it? The WBC, right? And he choose to fight the rematch with Tim Tszyu. So right now, respectfully, right now, young Xander Zion should be. Where's my computer? Come on, turn on. Sometimes, oh yeah, that's right. The mouse is off. No wonder it didn't. Because I got this plugged in. Let me unplug this and plug my mouse back in so I could get my computer. I think I got enough power to do the rest of the show. I'm going to hop off in a little while. Let's see how the show goes. And let me connect this back on so I can use my laptop and get you guys proper information. So where were we? The interim world championship, the WBC. Carlos, you asked about the what, where, and when. Alright, let's check it out. So, here, I'm going to have to make this a little bigger at least. I can't even see the screen here. I better do something. Official ranking, yes. That's what I want. Let me get to this ranking. Come on now. All right. So, what is that? Sebastian Fundora, 154. So let's go down there. Let me get caught up to everything. Okay, so, Ortiz, Virgil Ortiz. He has the interim Sebastian Fundora's WBC World Championship. So Virgil Ortiz. So he vacated the WBO. He's fighting Tim Tszyu for the WBC. Ah, I thought, yeah, I knew that. But since I watch so much boxing, sometimes I'll forget little things like this. But I already knew that. But I would have thought it would have made more sense to keep the WBO because Tim Tszyu was the former WBO world champion, and that's what he lost. That's the belt he wants to get back from Sebastian Fundora from that fateful night that they fought, and he got that freak elbow to the top of his head. And Tim Tszyu lost the fight, and many people watching the fight said that it would have been a different fight had he not suffered a cut of that size and that much blood was going into his eyes, which forced Tim Tszyu to fight more desperate, and he changed his game plan and his approach to fighting Sebastian Fundora, which Tim Tszyu had a lot of success in that fight too. I remind you, he did break Sebastian Fundora's nose in the fight. So, that being said, it made the fight very interesting, but there were a lot of what ifs. What if he didn't suffer that massive gash on the top of his forehead? Would the fight have been different? That fight in particular was for the WBO. Sebastian Fundora on that night, when they met, the WBC put the vacated title, which was the WBC, so the fight was for the vacated WBC and Tim Tszyu's WBO World Championship. Now that we're talking about the fight, quickly I was looking over the possibilities, and one of the possibilities would have been that I kept the WBO so that when I fought Tim Tszyu, he was fighting for his old belt, not the WBC. But I see the route that they took. Supposedly, Terrence Crawford did announce he gave up the interim title for the WBO. But in box sources here, they still honor him as the interim. So, let's head over to BoxRec. And I want to see in BoxRec Xander Zion's if anything has been announced for him. It would probably be on BoxRec. Remarkably, I was talking with the Schofields, right? Floyd Schofield Sr. I was interviewing him, and I went to check up his fight with Tevin Farmer, and it's around the corner, their fight, and it's still not announced on BoxRec, and I found that a little strange. All right, here we go. Puerto Ricans, young Xander Zayas. Young Xander Zayas comes to us with a way of 20 big wins, right? 13 big ways by knockout. He is currently undefeated, right? He is only the ripe age of 22 years old. He's still a kid. He's got his whole future ahead of him. He's already got 21 professional fights at 22 years old. I would think that a 22-year-old kid in his position, he's doing just fine. Okay? He has 100 rounds professional boxing. He has a 61% knockout ratio. He is 5'10". He has a 74-inch arm reach. He's currently fighting in the 154-pound weight division. He started his career at 145. Since then, right now, it does not have him scheduled to fight his next opponent. He's just coming off his last fight, which was a 10-round fight, right? Spooner. Hold up. Huh? Wasn't that the guy that Tim Tszyu fought? No. Okay, I'm getting them confused. Yeah, this dude came into the fight undefeated. It was his last fight was a fight of the undefeated with Xander Zion. He was undefeated and Xander Zion was undefeated. Yeah. And Xander Zion fought a tough little good fight, hard fought fight there. Yes, he did. Remember, I think he stopped him like in the 9th round. Was it? It was a 10-round fight. Man, I got box rec here. I can look it up. 9th round. And that's for the WBO NBO Super Welterweight Championship in the North American Boxing Federation Super Welterweight Championship. That's what that was for. See, this part of the screen, when it's box rec, I can fucking blast that shit up to like 150, the font, and I got the words like this big, I can read it. So, yeah, definitely, Xander Zion right now, I think he's in talks right now. I'm not sure if anything's official, if you guys know anything about it. I've heard 2 names so far with Xander Zion. 2 names, I don't know which one to believe. So, I don't know. I think rightfully so, he should be competing for this WBO. Who he fights, Tim Tszyu is definitely going to fight Sebastian Fundora, right? So we already know that, right? Josh Kelly, and I don't think that'll be a good fight. Ed Durrell, Jesus, Ramos, Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, big name guy, but the WBO is never going to give him an opportunity. I don't even know why Keith Thurman's in the ranking in WBO for all that shit talking he did about the WBO. Remember Keith Thurman went around on that rant where that he was like, the WBO is not even a real belt. They're not even an organization because see, what happened was Tim Tszyu and one-time Keith Thurman were scheduled to fight, right? And the WBO didn't sign off on it. They felt like Tim Tszyu, yeah, you got a free fight where you can choose who to fight. But if you do that, we just want you to know that one-time Keith Thurman was not in our ranking system. So we're not going to sanction the fight. The WBO wouldn't back it. So when they were going to fight, they actually were going to fight at 155 pounds, not 154. 1 pound over the 154 limit so that the belt's not on the line. Right? Then all of a sudden, one-time Keith Thurman, you see him in his shoulders in a sling. He's like, hey guys, I hurt my hand. I got to pull out of the Tim Tszyu fight. Bro, he was mad that they didn't sign off for the belt. Then he went on a rant all over social media, whoever would listen to him, and he kept dogging the WBO and their president, and he kept just saying how much that their belt sucked, and so I don't think they're gonna do him any favors. So one time Keith Thurman needs to like fight and move up. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I don't even know why he's in their ranking system after he talks so much shit about them. I don't see the WBO helping him out in any way. Not like they did George Camboza, where they moved him up from fucking 135, the IBF, and put him number 3. Like, that's helping a fighter. You know, you represented me once upon a time, and you held one of our belts. Maybe they might show you some love. And sometimes, if you were like a champion in a lower division and you decide to move up, the organization will honor you and they will rank you high. You know, Devin Haney got that WBC ranking number 1 ranking, right? Where was he? Devin Haney, what was he in the ranking? Yeah, he's number 1 to Mario Barrios' WBC world title right now. I knew it. And it's because he was the WBC world champion at 140. See what I'm saying? And he didn't lose. He's still undefeated. So the organization honored that. Plus, you don't got no bigger name. There's nobody in the 140 in the WBC ranking got a bigger name than Devin Haney. Besides that bullshit ass ranking that Conor Ben's holding on to. Which, if he doesn't go down to 147, back down from that 160 fight, he's going to stay stuck. He'll never be able to go back down to 147. But if he did it right away, say when he fought with Chris Eubank Jr., say Conor Ben would have fucking just decided right then and there to shed off that weight and start coming back down to 147, he might have been able to pull it off. But the longer that he stays in that weight, he'll never go back down to 147. If he fights anywhere his next fight besides 147, you're just taking up space. That 147-pound ranking is a fucking joke for the WBC. They should be ashamed, bro. Manny Pacquiao ranked number 5. That's ridiculous. How the fuck can you be inactive for 5 years and be ranked number 5? You're an inactive fighter, bro. You shouldn't even be on the ranking system. No inactive fighter is not on the... MJ is about to fight that dude, Lewis, right? He's an inactive fighter. His last fight was in 2023. 12/9, 2023 was his last fight. You mean to tell me he's not in the ranking system? As a matter of fact, right? Terrence Crawford went in to fight Errol Spence Jr. And on the night they entered the ring, Errol Spence Jr. wasn't on no ranking system. On BoxRec, he wasn't ranked in the world. Next to his name, it said the word inactive. When he lost to Terrence Crawford, the very next day, he was on the ranking system. And the thing is that you can't rank a champion because Errol had 3 belts. So he wasn't going to be on the ranking system like his name. But his name would have been across champion, champion, champion. He had all 3 belts. His name doesn't go on the board as the number 1, 2, 3. No, he's already the champion. But on BoxRec, Errol Spence was not an active champion. He had no pound for pound status going into the fight. Although people might say Errol was a pound for pound fighter, maybe real low down there on the list, right? Somewhere in the 9-10 range at the time, before the 2 car accidents, leading after the car accidents, and in talks, because of money, people might have awarded Errol that. You understand? But he wasn't an active fighter. Manny Pacquiao has been inactive for 5 years. 5 years. No professional fights. And these dirty motherfuckers, they got him ranked number 5. How's that possible? Should your name award you this for all the blood and all the events you've given us throughout the years? Should there be a double standard that should exist? A healthy double standard that speaks to the type of fighter you made yourself. Should that be honored? Should it? Or is that favoritism? Just ask the guy that's still been boxing underneath the number 5 ranking if he thinks this is right. Or should he be number 5? There are a bunch of guys on that 147 ranking system for the WBC should not be there, including Devin Haney's ass at number 1. When has Devin Haney ever fought at 147? I'll wait. Anyone, tell me. What was the guy's name he fought at 147? Devin Haney. Tell me, I want to know. How did he earn that number 1 spot? How? He's never fought in the division. And that's what I'm talking about. Because what he did at 140 and at 135 with the WBC, he held 2 WBC World Championships and 2 separate weight divisions. Devin Haney, he had one at 140 and one at 135. So he knows the WBC really well. He's owned 2 of their belts. They honored him like that. Bro, Suleiman is number 2. Conor Benn is number 3. Shouldn't be there, right? And number 5 is Manny Pacquiao. Shouldn't be there. Devin Haney, Conor Benn. Bro, Manny Pacquiao. Alex Arocha, they got him all the way down there at number 10. When respectfully, he should be up there. Alex Arocha should be way higher than Manny Pacquiao. Come on, guys. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Look, Alex Rocha is fucking Brian Norman Jr.'s number 1. And he's number 4 for Jerron Boots Ennis. Jesus, the WBA world ranking is just as screwed up. Fucking got Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Jose Ramirez. Oh my God, Conor Benn is up there too. They just put anybody, huh? Just to fill up names? Sometimes I can't believe some of this shit. Lewis Crocker, man. Crocker. Actually, he should be higher than fucking Jose here. Josh Taylor, man, I don't know what he's gonna do, man. And man, he looked pretty good. The other guy just out-toughed him. He was tougher. He was able to endure Josh Taylor's punches. He was able to keep up with Josh Taylor in the sense of, you know, weathering the storm. And he beat him. He outworked Josh Taylor. He really did. He stayed persistent. He started walking through some of Josh Taylor's punches. And when he landed his punches, you could see he was pushing Josh Taylor back. Josh Taylor would shell up. He had those sneaky, cheeky body shots downstairs to the body, but my man was landing strong, hard power punches. And at some point, Josh Taylor was letting the fight slip away from him. And then he started coming back. He started working off his jab once again and kind of settling in, but you could see the effects on Josh Taylor's face from his punches. And what can I say, man? I think that the right man won. I think that the right man won, given the circumstances of where they were fighting in. Come on, man. I thought they were going to give it to Josh Taylor, but I think that the right man won. And where Josh Taylor goes from here, man. I said this before. I'm not sure if he ever gets a world title again, Josh Taylor. I think it's done. Amazing career, man. Hall of Famer, Josh Taylor. He unified all 4 belts. You get all 4 belts in any weight division, you're going to Hall of Fame, bro. You were undisputed. That's like a ticket to the Hall of Fame. Be undisputed just once. You're going to the Hall of Fame, bro. So your name will be cemented in immortality forever. 100 years from now, people will be able to walk into a Hall of Fame down there in New York, pay their money, and see your name and your picture and what you did for eternity. Tank Davis, I'm not sure if he's going to the Hall of Fame, bro. Two weight divisions, 5-6 title defenses. That's not enough. It shouldn't be enough. They should keep the Hall of Fame guys at a high level. Like, you should have to do some shit. You should have a minimum of 3 weight divisions. 3 to 4 weight divisions. You gotta be like the qualification. The list of men that are in the room for 4 weight divisions, it's a small ass list. So maybe not 4 weight divisions. Not everybody can do that. 3. 3 being one of them. One of the qualifications. And you won't even need to have the 3. Let's say you were in one division your entire career. But at least you became undisputed. You got all 4 belts or something. Or you made a ridiculous title run. Title defenses, and you beat the biggest names in your division. The who's of your division while unifying. That'll get you in the Hall of Fame. Shit like that will get you in the Hall of Fame. But 2 divisions, no champ. How many champions did he fight ever in his life? 2, 3? With two belts? In 2 separate weight divisions? Tank Davis? I don't see how he gets into the Hall of Fame. He might get in. I don't know, man. Ticket sales should have nothing to do with it. Your star status is not what boxing's about. Okay, you got a lot of people to buy your fight. Congratulations. But who did you beat in that ring? That's what the Hall of Fame is going to ask when they look you up to see if... I know a lot of boxers that had some strong arguments to get into the Hall of Fame, and they were denied. I know a lot of fighters that are on the outside still looking in, hoping to go in. Yo, and Paulie Malignaggi and Chris Igeria there. Yo, Chris, I love you, bro. I fucking love you, bro. You're good for the sport. You're a great commentator. You're a great fighter, man. But Conor Ben making you do backflips in the ring that look like that. They were talking about Chris Igeria was going to Hall of Fame. I'm sorry, Chris, but I don't think they should let him in. And I say that with a heavy heart. Because any man that laced up or fought the fighters, kind of fighters Chris fought, and even Paulie, man. Paulie had his moments and shit. And if they do one day get in the Hall of Fame, it's going to be because of their broadcasting, and then their fights will be remembered in some part in their story. But at least they'll be there. You know what I mean? They got in. And once you get in, for whatever reason, your name is going to live on in immortality. So I think with the combined of the two, maybe one day Chris Algeria and Paulie will get into the Hall of Fame for maybe their broadcasting skills and stuff. And I hope they do, fingers crossed. I hope they both get in. But as far as their boxing, unfortunately, I got to tell the truth. And I'm not sure about Chris there, you know. So I don't think that he should be let in. I'm sorry. And like I said, I say that with a heavy heart. Like, you know, we got to have standards. Sorry, you know. Shakur Stevenson right now getting into the Hall of Fame. He had 3 belts at 130, but who'd he beat for them? I think the 3 belts, I don't think he had an extensive run, a long enough run to say he defended the belts this many times. He beat this, you know what I mean? He does have 3 belts, but should 3 belts elect you into a Hall of Fame? Not sure. How many divisions does Shakur have right now? I'm not sure, man. Let me look something up here. I find real interesting. I want answers. I want answers. All right. Fuck. In BoxRec, they don't honor the WBA world titles. So if he had a WBA world title, it's not going to be here. Now I kind of got to read to see if I remember all the fights. I've seen all Shakur fights, basically. And the ones that I didn't see, I went back and saw them on YouTube. So if I didn't see it live in the morning, I've seen them all. Okay. Those belts don't count. That IBF, he won a title at 125. An IBF interim. Oh yeah. The WBC. Continental. Those are not belts. That IBF interim and that WBO NABO featherweight title at 120, those are not belts. That WBO NABO featherweight at 126, 125, that's not a real belt. It's a good award. You know, those interim belts, regular belts, they're a great honor to have. But if you're not fighting for the top belt, then it's not a real belt. He moved up to 129. China, for the WBO Interim Super Featherweight Championship. He fought him in the Virgin Hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's not a belt, bro. The WBO Super, right there, that's the first belt. He felt Jamel Herring. He knocked him out in the 10th round, or stopped him in the 10th round. TKO. So he's got that belt, so that's at 130. That's 130. Then he fights for the WBC and WBO against Oscar Valdez. He beats Oscar Valdez. Uh, Ramon Conceição. That's the guy that O'Shaughnessy Foster lost to in a robbery. The second fight was closer. But Shakur Stevenson got a couple names. Oscar Valdez is a respectable champion. Heron is good. Robinson here. Conceição was the champion. Yasakusi there was he was undefeated. Edwin De Los Santos, he fought him at 135. He weighed in at 134. De Los Santos and Shakur weighed in at 133 in that fight. I know that the WBA world title at some point he won it, but I can't figure out who is the guy he beat for it. I know it's during this run that Shakur Stevenson was in. I just can't figure out who it was that he beat at 130 for that belt. I'm starting to think it was for that Claire fight. Might have been Felix. He fought at 130, Felix here, and it was in the MGA Grant, Las Vegas. And when you fight in fights like that, they're for big things. He might have fought him. I gotta check that shit out, but they won't allow me to. It doesn't allow me to check that for the WBA because of what they're doing with their belts. That BoxRec doesn't even honor their belt anymore. You know what I'm saying, guys? So yeah. But yeah, let me read some of y'all messages. Can you shout out Ben Lee? I already did that. Yeah, that's how far back I haven't gone. Damn, Frontline's been chopping them up. Get them out of here. Good night, everyone. It's about 12 here. Yeah, it's about 12 and 11. Yeah, I'm about to hop off. What the hell am I doing? Listen, fight fans, you guys have been amazing. Thank you for everybody tuning in, locking in. If I haven't read your message, I apologize. I will get to you. What's up, Warrior? Arctic Warrior. What's up? Little bro. Yo, what's up? Yup. Don't have... JP, how you doing? In the building. Alright, I'll watch it. Gotti. Stephen Lee, what's up? What's that? Love what? Oh, not love. That says Laura. Today's my birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Reeves. Well, Aaron, on the next video, because I don't want to get into explaining all that shit, because we'll be here for fucking ever, right? But I just want you guys to know that I will answer all you guys' questions. Look at JP's 130, 135, 140. Yeah. When we was talking about the beta run, yeah. See, that's how far back I got. Damn, you guys, listen, you guys have been amazing. Benavidez, what's going on here? Warrior. Although Saul is afraid to fight me, Mexican monster, like to fight the Mexican monster, Benavidez. Well, at this point, I'm not sure if he's just afraid of him or he wanted this easier fight, bigger payday with Terrence Crawford. Fucking boxing politics, huh? Sometimes you gotta put a gun to the back of these guys' heads to get these guys to fight, you know what I mean? Canelo wins the decision, you think? Shakur was a champion in 126, round one. It might have been a WBA championship. And if it was a WBA championship, it's not going to show up. And that's why I say that this shit's fucked up. He had belts here at 126, which is the 125 that he weighed in. But it was an IBF interim and a WBO Commonwealth. Those are not real belts, bro. They're good awards, yeah. Unless he won a WBA that's not showing up. And he had a WBO NABO featherweight champion. That WBO NABO featherweight champion, that's not a belt, bro. Isn't that like the PBC's belt? Oh no, he had a WBO right here. He had a WBO World Featherweight Champion. He fought for a vacant belt. He fought Joey Gonzalez. He was 23-0 at 126. Shakur Stevenson. It's right here. I found it. It was a WBO. Yeah. So he has a belt at 120. He's going to the Hall of Fame for that shit. Shakur's going to the Hall of 3 divisions. He's going to the Hall of Fame. 3 divisions, and at 130 he had all 3 belts. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. You get 3 divisions with 3 belts? Yeah, you're going. Yeah, you're going to the Hall of Fame. You got to get in with 3 divisions, bro. You got to. Once you pass 2 divisions, you got to get in. Especially if Shakur Stevenson ends his career, goes up another weight division in his 4th weight division, because he can. He can. And if he happens to secure just 1 belt, he goes into a room of men of 4 division world champions. That's not a very big list. I'm not sure in the history of boxing there has been more than 10 men in 4 divisions. That would be a good trivia for the next one. And I know this shit. I know I do. Sometimes I forget more about boxing than... right? And it'll just pop in my head at weird times and shit. I'll just spit it out. Like, you know what I mean? But fight fans, thank you for tuning in, locking in here with me. What do we got here? Is that 68 likes? Let's see if we can get those lights up there a little bit more. I'm heading at the wee hours of 12 midnight. I've been talking boxing with you guys. Tune in tomorrow. We talk more boxing here at Round 1 Sports Talk. If you like what my channel has to offer, please subscribe to the channel. Hit those like. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round 1 Sports Talk. You guys have been amazing. Love yourselves and have a good night. Peace. I'm out.